Didier with his usual outstanding rendition of both the Canadian and U.S. national anthems. What a great job by Tom Didier. Here's a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game. As expected in goal for Kalamazoo, it'll be Larry Dick. On defense, Paul Gerard and Brad Berry. The center is Tim Lenardon. He'll be flanked on the wings by Scott Robinson and also by Jim Nesich. For the Komets, Pokey Reddick, who's been spectacular in the nets, gets the call once again in goal. On defense, it will be Todd Flickle and Scott Shaughnessy. The center, the veteran Bruce Boudreau. And the wingers will be Corey Kocher and Darren Smith. Let's take a look at the officials for tonight's deciding game here of this Turner Cup playoff series. The referee is Stephen Walkham. He is from the American Hockey League. The linesman, Andy McElman and Jay Jacobs. So just about set to get started here from the Coliseum. Game 7 of this Turner Cup quarterfinal series between the Fort Wayne Komets and the Kalamazoo Wings. What a series it has been so far. If you can't be out here at the Jungle tonight, folks, we're glad you could be with us here on TV 33. Kent Horman along with Scott Gruel and Hilliard Gates, and we're underway. Boudreau pins the puck along the boards, turns and fires the quick shot on goal. Dick steers it to the corner now up ahead. Nesich bangs it off the boards to center ice where Shaughnessy takes over. Now Shaughnessy tries to feed the pass. Darren Smith off the boards. And at the Kalamazoo zone, it's Paul Gerard starting it back up. He feeds to Robinson, bumped off the play by Darren Smith. Now Kocher looks. He's rubbed off the play by Gerard, dumped in by Shaughnessy. Dick stops it behind the goal, and here come the Wings back up ice. Brad Berry leads the rush for Kalamazoo, fires it into the Komet zone. Pokey Reddick flags it down with the big stick, turned back up, and here comes Jean-Marc Richard. Richard over center ice into the Kalamazoo zone, tries to dip around his man, taken off his feet, no call on the play. Now into the corner, Straub given a rough ride by Lee Davidson. He's knocked to the ice, the puck again in the Kalamazoo corner. Hankinson tries to go at it. Now it's Lee Davidson looking to center. Bumped off the play hard by Sandelin. Now it's Hankinson taking his man strong. Straub bumped off the play by Kelly Hurd, just back in the Komet lineup tonight from Adirondack. And Kalamazoo clears the zone. The race is on between Mitch Messier and Jean-Marc Richard. Messier wins the race to the puck. Taken off, though, by Richard and ridden down hard behind the Komet net. Hayes can't clear the zone. No, here's Terry Lusick dumping it back behind the zone. Now it's Richard starting to pass ahead to Peter Hankinson. Here's the Komets' fastest line. Hankinson, Davidson, and Hurd. They dump it in and go for the line change. Behind the goal, Kalamazoo starts back up ice. Oh, knocked down with a quick stick. Berger tries to center just over Colin Chin's stick. Kalamazoo clears the zone once again. Bobby J goes back into the corner for the touch. That'll be a Kalamazoo icing. We've played 1 minute and 45 seconds here at period 1. Scott, what's been the tempo of the game so far? It looks like the team's trying to feel each other out just a bit.
Yeah, I like the tempo. I think the guys have come out with a little bit of fire in their bellies, and you know, we played the first minute or so in the offensive zone, which is important. A couple of chances. They're working hard, and that's the bottom line. You know, the bodies, they're throwing the bodies around. You know, Hank and Kelly, and you know, Lee Davidson, you give him a lot of credit. Weighs 165, plays about 190. He's throwing the body around. That's a good start for us so far.
Colin Chin at center on this line, along with Chris McRae and Phil Berger. McRae taking your spot on the wing tonight. This is a different lineup Al's using. We have Grant Richardson and also Bobby J at the point.
Scott, you start playing kind of wide. I think you're playing pretty well on the outside right now.
Yeah, that's usually the case. So when you're starting out like this, as Ken says, the guys are just feeling each other out. 7 games, you know, it's hard to believe we're still feeling each other out.
Off the draw, Kalamazoo can't clear the zone. Richardson keeps it and dumps it in the corner. Berger tries to center, takes the hard hit, and Dick had to be alert with the stick to turn it away. Now here comes Craig Cox for K-Wings. He steps over the blue line, tries to feed the pass. Mitchell, quick shot. Reddick with the save. Back to the point, the drive by Moylan. That's all. It's tipped in, and Kalamazoo is on the board. The Komets could not clear the zone. The puck went back to the point. The quick shot by Dave Moylan looked like it was tipped in, perhaps by Ross Wilson. We'll have to take a look at the replay and see who's awarded the goal. Pokey had no chance on the play.
Well, the shot comes from the point. It does definitely look like it was deflected. No, maybe it wasn't. According to the announcement, it was Dave Moylan straight in. I'm not sure if Pokey was screening that at all, Kent. Just an unfortunate start right now.
Well, just over 2 minutes into the game, Kalamazoo takes the lead, 1-0. The goal was awarded to Ross Wilson, his 5th of the playoffs. on assist from Mitchell and Moylan, so it was Moylan's shot from the point. Wilson just cutting across, got a piece of the lumber on it and tipped it by Pokey Reddick on just Kalamazoo's second shot on goal of the game. 17:36 to go here in period one. Kalamazoo has just scored to take the 1-0 lead, and so far shots are even for both teams, 2-2. This is a situation, though, where really it's not a panic type of attitude the Komets have right now, because they've been behind before in this building, 3 or 4 goals, and they seem to feel they just can't get beat here. Mark Turner now on the draw outside the Kalamazoo zone with Mark Janssens. K-Wings control the puck again. Barry tries to feed it ahead. He's hit by Kosher. Now the pass to Turner. Turner breaks into the zone, loses his feet. Dick steers the shot into the corner. Smith tries to center. Kalamazoo clears. Now Kosher can't control. Paul Gerard takes a big hit from Corey Kosher. And here comes Darren Smith. Komets breaking in, 2-on-2. Kosher can't take the back pass. Kalamazoo turns it back up. Flickel bumps Scott Robinson off the play. Shaughnessy goes deep into his own zone to play the puck behind the Komet goal. He's hit hard by Robinson. Now Darren Smith at center ice to Corey Kosher. Kosher flips it in, takes the hit from Nesic. And Scott Sandelin starts the rush back up for Kalamazoo. Nesic bumped off by Lee Davidson. Komets ruled offside on the play, so the faceoff will be outside the Kalamazoo zone. 1-0 Kalamazoo. You're watching the Turner Cup playoffs here on TV 33.
If you thought the drive-through window at the bank was just for cashing checks and making deposits, Fort Wayne National Bank brought back the drive-through loan to change your mind. You can get money for a nice new car, money for home improvements, money for a boat or RV. In fact, for any good purpose, and it's as easy as driving through. Get your application at any neighborhood office and find out that the only way to get service this convenient is to get to know a banker at Fort Wayne National Bank. An equal housing, equal opportunity lender, member FDIC.
Kalamazoo controls the face-off. Scott Sandelin tries to dump it in, hits his own man, intercepted by Chris McCray. McCray over the blue line, fires it into the Kalamazoo corner. Around behind the net, Colin Chin goes to play it. Now it's no, Berger can't control it. He tries to center it across, and here come the K-Wings. Messier ahead to Straub, who fires it into the Komet corner. Grant Richardson behind his own goal, feeds it along the boards for Berger. Berger tries to move it up ahead, kept in by Messier. Now it's the Komets having trouble clearing their zone. Richardson stops the clearing pass right there from Kalamazoo, and it's fed back into the Komet corner. Straub pinches in along the boards behind the Komet net. Here's Messier trying to play. He's hit hard by Richardson. Richardson again takes off Bobby Reynolds, but Kalamazoo still controls the pass in the slot. Straub can't quite handle it. Berger tries to clear, but K-Wings again pin the Komets in their own end. Now Miller goes in hard with Bobby J along the boards. Taken off on the hard hit by Colin Chin, but there will be a penalty against the Komets. It'll be Colin Chin going off for the cross check.
Long possession of the puck right during that series.
Yeah, they hemmed us in there for 10, 15 seconds. Chinner just taking the body. Maybe it was more of a call from behind than anything else with the cross check across the letters. But you know, we've been doing pretty well, killing penalties all playoffs. We're right up there at about 92%. So you know, we got to do it again here in this situation.
Just over 4 minutes into the game, Scott, you know, there was the talk Saturday night in Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo beat the Komets to almost every loose puck, much like you did to Kalamazoo here Friday night. It looks like Kalamazoo is applying a little more pressure here early in the game. Do the boys just have to start turning it on a little more?
Yeah, they're a good hockey club. You know, they're not intimidated at all at this point by the crowd or whatever. We just got to, you know, pick it up on our special teams here, and this is a good test for us.
Komets again can't clear the zone, and here comes Kalamazoo setting up shop on the power play. Lusick takes his man hard behind the net, but K-Wing still control. Mitchell feeds behind the net. Kerry Lusick going in strong. Wilson trying to scrum the puck out of the corner. Komets trying to pin for the face-off. Kalamazoo tries to dig it out. Here's Ross Wilson. He's got 2 Komets on him. They're digging hard for the puck. Hankinson out on the penalty kill for the K's along with Davidson. Reddick takes Craig Cox off the play, but K-Wing still control the puck. Now it's Wilson out to the point. Cross-ice pass to Mitchell. His low shot knocked down by Richard. And here comes Jean-Marc Richard. Oh, he's hauled down from behind. And it'll be a hooking penalty called against Craig Cox. Craig Cox, an NHL veteran who spent much of last season with Vancouver, then came over to Kalamazoo in a trade involving the Canucks and Minnesota North Stars, and Cox is not happy.
Well, it's a nice play by JM to glove the puck down and head up ice. He's dangerous offensively, whether we're killing a penalty or not, and he used his strength to try to guard Cox off, but Cox is a big man. He just took him down from behind, and know, with 1:13, we'll have about 47 seconds on our power play when we turn this thing around. So it was a good job for us killing the first minute or so, because if we go down 2-0, it's a long struggle from there.
Both teams now skating even, just over 15 minutes to go here in period 1. Kalamazoo has an early 1-0 lead over the Komets. Game 7 of this Turner Cup quarterfinal playoff series between the K's and the Wings. Now it's Corey Kosher trying to step over, but the puck poked away by Paul Girard. The Komets regroup. Grant Richardson backhands the puck deep into the Kalamazoo end. Here's Brad Berry of the Wings along the boards. Jim Nesich now tries to turn it up. He's met hard by Kosher. Kosher again takes Nesich hard along the boards. Girard clears ahead, though, to Tim Lenardon. Now it's Lenardon up to Brad Berry. Berry dumps it off the boards, tries to slip around Bobby J. Berry again picks up the puck. He's met by Richardson behind the goal. And Grant Richardson comes out with the puck. Here come the Komets. Kelly Hurd down the left wing. He's trailed by Kosher. Hurd with a burst of speed. Tries to center, Nolan home, and it's Brad Berry. Now Hurd tries to get the puck back, but Paul Girard of Kalamazoo starts the rush for the Wings. Girard with the long shot. Reddick, a little bit of a juggling act, but he flags it down. Feeds it to Scott Shaughnessy, ahead to Hankinson. Hankinson leaves it back for Shaughnessy, and here come the Komets. Shaughnessy to Davidson. Davidson cross ice to Kerry Lusick. Lusick dumps one on goal, caught by Larry Dick. Dick drops it back for Bobby Reynolds, and here comes Bobby Reynolds back up ice for Kalamazoo. Now Kip Miller. Over the line they go. Miller feathers the pass back, intercepted by Peter Hankinson. Ahead to Colin Chin, who just comes out of the penalty box a little too strong. Dick clears it off the boards. Kept in, though. Peter Hankinson. Now the Komets are on the power play. 30 seconds of power play time for the K's. Kalamazoo clears the puck. The Komets will set it up behind their own goal. 13:30 to go in period 1. 1-0 Wings. Bruce Boudreau carries the puck into the zone, tries to beat Mitchell. He's ridden down hard. Hankinson steps into his man along the corner. Colin Chin digs for the puck. Chin hooked off the play by Moylan. Now it's back to Hankinson. Still 8 seconds on the power play. Jay with the drive from the point. Tipped by Chin. Save Dick. Hankinson again with the puck. Hard-working Peter Hankinson. Rubbed off the play by Mitchell. Now it's Boudreau coming up behind. The pass goes right across the goal mouth. And here comes Kalamazoo. The pass ahead to Miller behind the defense. Good play by Richard, coming back strong. And it was Craig Cox trying for the weak side rebound. There's going to be a penalty on the play. Bobby Jones will be called for a penalty. We'll be back with more of the playoffs here on TV 33.
McJohn 1 Hour Photo knows remembering those special moments in your life are what pictures are all about. The good times, the fun times, the people you shared those unforgettable memories with. For over 27 years, McJohn 1 Hour Photo has been turning pictures into special memories that will last a lifetime. Preserve your special memories with quality photo developing by McJohn 1 Hour Photo. We do more than just develop pictures. We make time stand still.
Well, they didn't really get a good view of it on that, but Bobby J made a great play coming back, taking Craig Cox out of the play. Here it is here. The pass came across the crease. He doesn't hook him down there. That's a potential goal. So that was a good penalty by Bobby J.
One of those tough calls, but it was one of those that could have gone either way. Now Kalamazoo goes back on the power play, and the Komets have to do it all over again. Kerry Lusick rides his man off the puck, and Lee Davidson clears to neutral ice. Brad Berry with the long, hard shot behind the Komet goal. Reddick behind his goal. Stops the puck. The K's try to clear. Off the dasher. Girard keeps it into the point. Dumps it back behind the net. Wilson now. Here come the Wings trying to set up the power play. Berry with the drive from the point. Reddick steers it into the corner. Lucy gets on the puck and clears the length of the rink for the Komets. Now Paul Girard. The pass up ahead. And it's an offside pass. 1:17 to go in the Kalamazoo power play. 12 minutes to go in the opening period, and still 1-0 Kalamazoo.
The success, Kent, that we've had in our penalty killing all year and in the playoffs is that we tried something different here. We tried to force Kalamazoo in their own end a little bit more. Trying to take a little bit, 10, 15 seconds off the clock while they're trying to regroup and set up. We're not letting them come in and dump it in. We're forcing them in the neutral zone, and that's creating a lot of turnovers, and in this case, a two-line pass.
Well, and two of the leader Komets out right now killing this penalty, Colin Chin and Pete Hankinson, and these guys know how to score shorthanded. That's one of the things the Komets have been awfully proficient at this season, is coming up with a shorthanded goal at key moments.
This could be construed as a key moment.
This is a key moment. Now the Komets applying the pressure on the wings, still having trouble getting out of their end. The feed back to the point. Todd Flickle dumps it back in. Larry Dick doesn't like what he sees, so he'll smother the puck for the faceoff. And again, good pressure by the Komet penalty killer, sending in a couple of forecheckers. The defenseman standing up at the blue line, pinching in the Kalamazoo wings. And that's pretty bad when a power play can't get the puck out of its own end. 1 minute even to go in the Kalamazoo power play. 11:49 left in period one, and it's 1-0 K-Wings in the 7th and deciding game of this Turner Cup quarterfinal series. The winner of this game moves to the semifinals against the Muskegon Lumberjacks. Colin Chin on the draw with Tim Lenardon. Lenardon wins the draw. Back behind it goes to Straub. Brian Straub evades the check by Colin Chin. And up ahead, here comes Kalamazoo again, trying to take 4 men in at the same time. They cross the blue line and go offsides. We'll be back with more of the playoffs after this.
For outdoor improvement, the Fort Wayne Awning Company has got you covered. From our beautifully hand-stitched canvas to custom design awnings, Fort Wayne Awning is shaped to fit your needs, big or small. And we do much more than manufacture canvas. During those cold months, we'll remove your awnings to allow the warmth of the winter sun, inspect and repair them if needed, and we'll even store them for you in the security of our heated warehouse. Remember, the more attention you give to your home or business, the more attention you'll receive. You've got it made in the shade with Fort Wayne Awning, 7105 Ardmore. If it's canvas, we make it.
Kalamazoo again trying to get something going on this power play, but the Komets have barely let them over center ice. Here come the wings now. Nesic flying down the wing. Poked into the corner by Lusick, who bumps Nesic off the play. Now Chin taken off by Robinson, but the K's clear ahead to Pete Hankinson. Hankinson slips one check, feeds the pass ahead to Colin Chin. He's bumped hard off the play. And a delayed offside being called, but Kalamazoo clears the zone. Now it's Robinson going in for the puck. He's chased by Jean-Marc Richard. Robinson still trying to control for K-Wings. Scott Robinson, the captain of Kalamazoo, works the puck into the corner. Now it's the cross-ice pass to Mitchell. His shot deflected into the corner again. Tim Lenardon tries to hit Robinson behind the goal, but that's too strong. The Komets now out of the box. Cleared the length of the rink, though. Both teams at even strength, and this will be an icing called against the Komets. Just about halfway through period one, Scott, and so far not that many shots. 5 for the Komets and 4 for Kalamazoo, but I think so far the K's really haven't put many testers on him.
No, not really. We've, again, spent 3-4 minutes in the penalty box here, as has been the case all series for actually both clubs. So we need to start mounting some offensive right now. Pokey's come up with some couple of big saves here so far. So, you know, let's see if we can't mount an attack now.
You know, one of the reasons you've been one of the most prolific scorers in the IHL during your career is when you get the puck, a lot of times you'll put the shot on goal. You put the puck on the net, sometimes it goes in. You think sometimes the guys can think a little too much or try and pass a little too much? I mean, throw some shots at this guy and good things could happen.
Yeah, a lot of times when you're getting 10, 15, 18 shots a period, a lot of them are just outside shots. And, you know, you get the goalie looking behind him sometimes. And, you know, that's important. We just got to try to create some opportunities by going to the net more.
Mitch Messier pushed off the play by Richardson, and Phil Berger starts the rush for the Komets. The K's trying to break out 3-on-2. Berger the pass moving to Bobby J. His low shot is stopped by Larry Dick with the big stick and the pads. The Komets control, though. Here's Chris McRae back to the point to Richardson. Richardson feeds it to the slot. Save! Rebound! McRae fires just wide. Now it's Berger and McRae going behind the net. Chris McRae taken hard off the play by Moylan, but Berger controls. Now Berger tries to weed his way through. It's McRae in the slot. McRae still has control of the puck. Behind the net to Berger. Berger looking to center, but he's taken off the play by Mitchell. Mitchell feeds ahead, and here's Mitch Messier. Kip Miller now for Kalamazoo, skating in on Bobby J. Jay takes his man off the play, then the puck dumped back into the Komet corner. Now it's Grant Richardson turning out of ice, avoids the check. Now ahead to Darren Smith. Smith dumps it into the Kalamazoo corner. Here's Corey Kocher trying to go for the puck. He's taken off the play by Gottis. Barry gets the rough ride from Darren Smith, and it's Kocher leveling the check against Girard. Physical play picking up a bit now here in the latter stages of period one. And Kalamazoo again dumps the puck into the Komet zone. Todd Flickle behind the goal, wraps it around the boards. Kocher lets it go. Now it's Boudreau. Tries to outrace Girard. Boudreau slips by Girard, feeds the pass. Gottis, he shoots. Oh, it's blocked by Steve Goddess. Where's the puck? It's still loose in the slot. Kalamazoo breaks out 2-on-2. Ross Wilson, who has the game's only goal, cuts in. The quick wall and hit the goal post. Pokey had to be alert. It looked like he got a piece of it with the stick, then it went off the pipe. Now Corey Kosher taken hard into the boards by Straub. Boudreau center, Kosher's backhander, stopped by Larry Dick. Now it's Hankinson going into the boards with Straub. Todd Flickel's long shot. Dick loves it, and he will smother the puck for the face-off. The Komets pulling on the pressure. 8.5 minutes to go here in period 1. 1-0 Kalamazoo. We'll be back with more playoff action after this.
A news update from TV 33, your 24-hour local news channel.
Good evening at 7:57 and 65 degrees. I'm Linda Jackson. A car accident in Huntington this afternoon left 81-year-old Goldie Carger dead. Police say she failed to yield the right-of-way to a pickup at an intersection east of Huntington. 9 people from Fort Wayne went to Buffalo today to take part in abortion demonstrations, and the gas chamber execution of Robert Alton Harris is set for midnight in California. More news in an hour, weather in 30 minutes.
Just over 8.5 minutes to go here in the first period. 1-0 Kalamazoo. The face-off in the Kalamazoo zone. The scooter line of Lee Davidson, Peter Hankinson, and Kelly Hurd out for the K's.
We've just seen the best 2.5 minutes of the hockey game.
As far as we're going, yeah, Hillard. I mean, we did put a lot of pressure on them, and that's important, especially after that big kill that we had.
The draw kicked back to the point. Terry Lusick tries to control it, backhands it into the corner. And Kalamazoo tries to clear it out. Davidson and Hankinson putting the pressure on Peter Hankinson, who's been around the puck this entire series. It's kept in at the point by Jean-Marc Richard. Now Straub behind his own goal for Kalamazoo. Intercepted by Hankinson. Hankinson slips the check, but it's poked away by Scott Robinson. Here come Robinson ahead to Tim Leonard. Leonard's long shot. And it's deflected away by Kerry Lusick. Leonard's still with the puck in the corner, though. He's given the rough ride by Lusick. Now Robinson poking at the puck. Richard on him. They scrum for it in the corner. And Richard just gives a little flip and it goes to neutral ice. Komets changing lines on the fly now. Colin Chin comes out with McRae and Berger. The long pass goes ahead to Messier. Dumped into the Komet zone. Reddick steers it behind the goal, leaves it for Bobby J. Now Grant Richardson's pass goes ahead. McRae slips by a check right there. McRae carries it into the zone for Berger. Berger tries to feed it back to McRae, but Moylan intercepts the pass and ahead to Mitch Messier. Bobby Reynolds takes the hard hip check from Grant Richardson. Now the Komets starting to tone up their physical play just a little bit. Here comes Berger leading the charge with Chin. Chin slips by one man. The quick wrist shot gloved by Larry Dick. He puts up the big shillelagh to try and avoid any more contact from Chris McRae. And the Komets have another opportunity in the Kalamazoo zone. More playoff action after this.
If you thought the drive-through window at the bank was just for cashing checks and making deposits, Fort Wayne National Bank brought back the drive-through loan to change your mind. You can get money for a nice new car, money for home improvements, money for a boat or RV. In fact, for any good purpose, and it's as easy as driving through. Get your application at any neighborhood office and find out that the only way to get service this convenient is to get to know a banker at Fort Wayne National Bank. An equal housing, equal opportunity lender, member FDIC.
7 minutes and 13 seconds left in the opening period here of the 7th and deciding game of the Turner Cup quarterfinal series between the Komets and Kalamazoo Wings. It's 1-0 Kalamazoo. The linesman doing a little repair of the ice right now. It's awfully humid in here today because of the warm weather we have outside. That happens with spring, and then you're trying to keep a solid ice surface down here in the Coliseum. And with around 8,100 screaming jungle fever Komet fans in here, it gets a little steamy on the ice. So far, the Komets have outshot Kalamazoo 11-4. So, Scott, they are putting more shots on goal.
Yeah, that's the important thing. You know, you can't score if you don't shoot. That's what some old wise sage once told me when I was a kid. So.
Well, and it's worked because you're closing in on being the all-time goal scorer in the IHL, and
so they tell me.
Hey, in any league, when you get over 500 goals, that means you're doing the job. Now it's Boudreau lining up against Steve Goddess on the draw. Boudreau tries to draw it back. Corey Kosher rubbed off the play, but here comes, Darren Smith, the quick shot, right on, and Dick had it at his feet, didn't know where it was, and then fell on it with the big pads.
Yeah, good play. Yeah, it was a good play by Smitty, and also a good play by Corey, going into the corner, taking out his man. And there you see Smitty coming out of the corner taking a quick shot, and those shots at the feet are always difficult for a goaltender. He's got to look straight down. Sometimes the peripheral vision is hidden by the mask, and it's difficult if you don't have your skates or stick in the right position. Sometimes that can sneak through or go in on the far side. Good play by Smitty. Good play all around on the faceoff.
Well, and it should have an effect on Larry Dick, because I read a story some years ago where he was kind of remarkable for a goaltender. 2,200 vision in one eye, legally blind, and it's obvious he has trouble, more trouble than most goalies, with the shots that are low.
At times you can see it, and like I say, the more shots you put on the net, maybe the more trouble he may have.
We're at the 7-minute mark of the first period. 1-0 Kalamazoo. The centering pass, no one home for the Komets, but poked away by Kelly Hurd. Kalamazoo just clears to neutral ice. Ross Wilson dumps it, goes into the Komet corner. Chased by Kerry Lusick. He slips the check at Craig Cox. Now here come the K's breaking out. Center ice, Lee Davidson. Davidson with the long shot, whistles wide. Girard tries to fire the rebound around the boards, but it's Davidson in the corner. Looking to center. He's taking the rough ride from Paul Girard. Now he's handing it right back to him. They both go heavily into the corner. Davidson and Girard. Davidson and Girard are really going at it hammer and tongs right now.
That kid plays a little bit...
There's going to be another penalty.
Yeah.
Another penalty coming up. This will be a penalty against the Kalamazoo Wings. Ross Wilson for interference.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity for us here, Kent Hilliard, for us to get on the scoreboard. We've been putting the pressure on. It's not like we've been on our heels. If we can just get some good quality opportunities here on this power play, get this game even, and get this place rocking.
You've been on Kalamazoo ice the last 3 or 4 minutes here, but you haven't been able to get the goal in there.
Yeah, let's hope we can turn the tide in this power play.
One thing, though, is when you spend a lot of time in the opposition's end, even if you're not scoring, it starts working in their head, I think, a little bit, and it wears them down.
Yeah, it certainly does. You almost work, you're working hard all over the ice, but in your own zone, one mistake could cost you a goal, and you're working twice as hard as you normally do in the other areas of the ice. So, hopefully we are wearing them down.
Kalamazoo controls the draw, and Straub clears at the length of the ice, so the Komets will set up their power play in their own end. Jean-Marc Richard starts the rush out, passes ahead to Chin. Chin carries now over the Kalamazoo zone, poked away, though, by Sandelin. He bumps it off the boards, back to center ice. Kocher now turns it up for Richard. Richard cross ice pass to Berger. Berger feeds the shot to Chin in the slot. Now Chin behind the goal, looking for a man. Quick pass to Richard, though. And that's stepped in front of by Tim Lenardon. Now Lenardon leads the rush by K-Wings. Message tries to feather the pass inside, but Berger blocks it with his skates. And here comes Phil Berger. Berger's pass goes off of Straub. Kalamazoo tries to clear, kept in by Boudreau. Long pass to Richard. Drive! Oh, great glove save by Larry Dick. Chin behind the goal. Tries to center again. Dick falls on the puck at the side of the net. And it'll be another face-off deep in Kalamazoo territory. The Komets have now outshot the Wings 13-4.
How long can this go on without a goal here, Scott?
Well, hopefully another 15 or 16 seconds, that's my guess.
Just over a minute to go in the Komet power play. 5:25 left here in the opening period. 1-0 Kalamazoo. Kent Horman along with Hilliard Gates and Scott Gruel bringing you all the action live from Memorial Coliseum. If you can't be one of the 8,000 plus out here tonight in the jungle, we're glad you could join us at TV ringside.
Well.
Lee Davidson draws the puck to Kelly Hurd. Hurd to Richardson at the point. Now back to Hurd. Hurd to Lee Davidson in the corner. Now back to Hurd. Top of the faceoff circle. His drive. Whistles off of Dick's glove. Oh, it's off the top of the net. Off the top of the net. A whistling shot by Kelly Hurd. Bounced out of the big glove of Larry Dick, up over his head, and landed in the top of the mesh.
Well, that's the play. Coming off the wings, I know I set up on the opposite side, but I'm on the power play, and Kelly's got a heavy shot. I mean, he's a big, strong kid, and as you can see, what we like to do is take that shot. Once he takes a shot, Dick loses it here, and, you're talking, they say it's a game of inches, and that proves it right there. That's another inch closer to the crossbar, and that thing might drop down behind him and in the net.
Davidson, Hurd, and Hankinson out again. Jay and Richardson at the point. Kip Miller, though, for Kalamazoo, one of the penalty killers. Richardson feeds it back to Jay. Jay into the corner for Hankinson. He takes the bump from Mitchell. Now it's back to the point. Bobby Jay's low drive. Oh, steered into the corner by Dick. Cleared off the boards by Kalamazoo, and here comes Reynolds busting down the wing, working on Jay. Jay bodies him off the puck and takes Reynolds off the play. Good defensive play by Bob Jay.
That's a great defensive play. He's playing a strong first period for us. You got to have Bob. You got to have guys in efforts like that.
Now Hankinson deep in Kalamazoo territory. Back to the point. Richardson playing a little catch now with Hankinson. Hankinson to Hurd in the slot. Hurd shot goes wide into the corner. Davidson sets a pick so Miller can't get at the puck. Bumped off but controlled at the point. It's the drive by Davidson. That's hit with the blocker by Larry Dick. Hankinson still controls for the Komets. He evades the check. Peter Hankinson now to Kelly Hurd. Hurd fakes the pass, turns. Now to Hankinson behind the goal. The Komets setting up the weave on the power play. Lee Davidson's quick shot in the slot. And again, Dick Johnny on the spot with the big miss. Kalamazoo again clears.
Great save by Larry Dick there. I don't know how he even saw that shot.
Now Mark Turner ahead. And there's a whistle on the play.
1-0. Kalamazoo leading 4 minutes to go in the first period.
Ace Rent-A-Car has great cars at super saver rates. When your plans call for a car or van.
Well, you can see Mark Turner sitting in the penalty box just before we went away. The Komets were assessed a 2-minute bench minor penalty for too many men on the ice. 4 minutes even to go in period one. That gives Kalamazoo a 2-minute power play once again, and they lead this game 1-0. The K's control the draw, though. Scott Shaughnessy tries to fire it into Kalamazoo zone, where Paul Gerard takes it for K-Wings, now behind the net to Brad Berry. Steve Goddess turns it ahead. Now Berry, the long cross-ice pass to Paul Gerard. Gerard busting it off the wing. Lets the quick shot go. That whistles wide. All the way out of the Komet zone, and Colin Chin gives chase against Brad Berry. Cross-ice to Goddess, who takes the heavy hit from Kocher. Intercepted by Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy pokes it away, and Gerard takes the big check from Kocher. Corey Kocher on the penalty kill, stepping into anybody he sees in a black jersey. Cox taken off the play by Pete Hankinson and dumps it all the way into Kalamazoo.
Great series of hits there by Corey Kocher. He's playing with like a man possessed this evening. We got to have, as I just keep mentioning, big effort after big effort from everyone.
Reddick comes out of his net to clear it hard off the boards. K-Wings pin it in, though. Back to the point, it's Sandelin. Sandelin goes cross-ice. The big drive by Straub, just wide. Sandelin along the boards, keeps it in, feeds it behind the net for big Craig Cox. Cox takes the check from Bobby J, but here come the Wings. Again, back to the point to Sandelin. Bird puts the pressure on him, but it's Cox in the corner for Kalamazoo. Craig Cox, back to the point, looks for the big pass. Now it's a good block by Bobby J. Lenardin tried to center it, but Jay anticipated the play, blocked it with his body, and sent it the length of the ice. 30 seconds to go in the Kalamazoo power play. Wings lead this game 1-0 on an early goal in the first period by Ross Wilson. Now Nesich down the wing. Tries to lead the pass for Lenardin. Lenardin takes it deep into the Komet corner. Back out to the point for Straub, but it's Lenardin poking it on goal, and Reddick jumps on it with the big glove, and he'll take the face-off in his own end. Just 13 seconds left in the Kalamazoo power play. 2:13 to go in the opening period.
Well, we've killed all but 13 seconds, as you mentioned, Kent. And again, without just one shot, Pokey came up big on that one. We got to get through this, and with 2 minutes left after that, hopefully get this thing tied going into intermission. Whether we do or whether we don't, I'll tell you, it's been a great effort so far from the players down there, and they've got nothing to be discouraged about, that's for sure. Eventually, we're going to get one by Larry Dick, and try to take it on home from there.
Colin Chin on the draw for the Komets against Tim Lenardin of Kalamazoo. A couple players jumping off sides, so they'll reset and do it all again. Chin manages to pull the draw back to Jean-Marc Richard. He's wrapped up. Manages to poke it along the boards, but Kazoo again controls. Now it's Mitchell to Lenardin. Lenardin tries for the pass. He's harassed by Jean-Marc Richard. Colin Chin then clears it off the boards. Kerry Lusick takes it, feeds it ahead to Chin. Chin breaking in. Colin Chin doing a little weaving in the Kalamazoo zone. Both teams even now. Chin still controlling the puck. Colin Chin, what a display of skating. Tries for the pass, but it's blocked by Nesich, and here comes Kalamazoo breaking out 3-on-2. Pass too strong for Robinson. It goes into the corner where he's ridden off the play by Chin. Now it's Lusick trying to play the puck. Berger wraps it off the boards. This will go the length of the ice and should be an icing against the Komets. No, it's waved off. The puck did not have enough steam to quite get across the goal line, and Kalamazoo has to start the rush back. Intercepted at center ice by Boudreau, but taken away by Girard. Flickel having trouble in his zone, and Messier breaks in. The backhand just steered away by Reddick. Now Boudreau steps into Messier, and Reddick again along the goal. Jumps on the puck for the face-off. Close call there for the Komets.
Very close. Todd Flickel trying to handle that bouncing puck. And if we can see on the replay here, you can see it just bounce off a stick. Messier comes in. Flick made a good recovery, and Scott Shaughnessy came over to make a great play, diving, sacrificing the body to force the puck behind the net.
Just a minute and 10 seconds left here in the opening period from the Coliseum, the seventh deciding game of this Turner Cup quarterfinal playoff series between the Komets and Kalamazoo. Each team has won 3. One team moves on to play Muskegon after tonight. The other will start thinking about summer. Now off the draw. Here comes Lee Davidson breaking out. Hankinson trying to slip behind the defense, but waits for Davidson. Davidson cuts in. Quick wrist shot off the chest of Larry Dick. Kalamazoo clears back into the Komet zone.
Less than a minute in the first period.
And the clearing pass way too strong. That goes for another icing, and the Komets with 53 seconds to go here in the first period will have another face-off opportunity in the Kalamazoo end.
That was a pretty good breakout off the face-off there, Kent. Hilliard, Lee Davidson trying to go coast to coast. And the story on Larry Dick is that sometimes, he'll plant his feet and go down a little bit. And we're trying to get the puck up over his shoulders. We scored. I was fortunate enough to get one over his shoulder. So I think the guys are subconsciously, if not consciously, thinking about going over his shoulder. So, maybe he'll make a mistake and we'll try and sneak one in here.
Davidson on the draw against Steve Gaddis of Kalamazoo. Gaddis pulls the puck back, but Davidson tries to slip in. K-Wings control behind their goal. Straub trying to break out. Feels the pressure from Hankinson, but again, cleared into Komet territory, and this time there's no icing. Jean-Marc Richard starts the rush back up to the K's. Finds Hankinson. Now Hankinson waits for his teammates. Ahead to Kelly Hurd. Hurd goes back on the play. Now it's Steve Gaddis crossing over the blue line. His quick shot kicked into the corner by Reddick. Ross Wilson into the corner, given the ride by Hankinson. Jay steps into his man. Here comes Ross Wilson, though. Strong behind the Komet goal. The K's losing control of the puck. Wilson with the quick wrap around, and it's kicked out by Reddick. Now the Komets content just to dump it into Kalamazoo territory. They're trying to get the line change here. 5 seconds to go in the opening period. And Kalamazoo called for an offside pass. Just 3 seconds to go here in the opening period. It's 1-0 Kalamazoo. The goal just 2 minutes and 9 seconds into the game by Ross Wilson. The assist from Mitchell and Moylan. And that's the only dent on the scoreboard here so far. One thing, Scott, obviously it looks like we're going to have a 1-0 Kalamazoo lead after one period, but the Komets can't be discouraged by only trailing by one. And you look at that, the shot board, the Komets have outshot Kalamazoo 18-6.
Yeah, by my calculations, that's a 3-1 advantage. And, it really is conducive. The shots are conducive to the way the play is going. We've had them hemmed in. And at times, Kalamazoo's just been content to dump the puck out, and that just plays into our hands. The longer we play in their zone, hopefully the more opportunities we'll have to score.
That'll do it for the opening period of play. 1-0 Kalamazoo after the first 20 minutes. We'll be back with more after this.
Superior
Fort Wayne Komets. Robbie Laird is down here. Robbie, boy, here's a name that you want to hold this mic and I'll just talk to a mind here. Right. Robbie Laird, we go back to the 1970s and we were telecasting Komet games. We did probably the last period and a half of your Sunday games, and you were great, and I never saw you looking better. You get younger.
Well, thanks a lot, Hilliard. I think coaching puts a few years on you, but I do feel good, and it's very nice to be back here, and I can't remember this place rocking the way it is right now. Fort Wayne has a lot to be proud of with this franchise.
You left Fort Wayne and got into coaching, didn't you?
Well, I went to Washington for 3 years. My first year as an assistant in Washington, and the last 2 years I've been in Baltimore. It didn't work out real good for me in Baltimore this year. They let me go at the end of February, so I'm still under contract with them right now and doing a little scouting in the meantime.
What is your next prospect here now?
Well, the next step for me right now, Hilliard, is just to make my name available. throughout the hockey circles, and in May and June when the teams start to hire, hopefully I'll get a chance to interview with a couple teams.
Well, if anybody wants a great coach and a wonderful guy who knows this game of hockey, he's also lighter now than he was when he played hockey. Get a hold of Robbie Laird, because you can do it, young man.
Well, thanks for the plug there, Hilliard. I'm confident I'll be coaching again next year. I'm not sure where, but I'll be coaching somewhere.
Well, good to see you, Robbie. Thank you very much for joining us.
Okay, Hilliard.
Best wishes to you. Now,
both teams are back on the ice, getting set to start the second period of this Turner Cup playoff quarterfinal game, the seventh and deciding game between the Komets and Kalamazoo Wings. As we get set to start period 2, it's 1-0 in favor of Kalamazoo.
Scott Gruel, the Komets are trailing now by a point. They had terrific momentum but did not score in the latter stages of the first period. Will this hockey game continue to go like it is with very few penalties, or is it going to get more physical?
Well, I don't think, Hilliard, that you're going to see as many, if not more, penalties. You might see 2, 3, 4 period possibly, but I think the time for intimidation is long gone, and as you can tell, both clubs have their finesse players out there, their speedy wingers and whatnot, and it's just going to come down to who really wants them more and who's going to get the breaks and the opportunities. And the guys are playing just fantastic hockey right now, and they've got the intensity level is there, and it's just a matter of finishing their breaks.
Thank you, sir.
Referee Stephen Walkham just about set to drop the puck at center ice between Bruce Boudreau and Tim Lenardin to get period number 2 underway. Again, 1-0 in favor of the Kalamazoo Wings. And again, the Komets take the draw immediately and dump the puck behind the Kalamazoo zone. Wings try to clear it out. Brad Berry shoots at the length of the rink. This should be an icing on K-Wing. Scott Shaughnessy with the touch. And it is icing. The face-off again deep in the Kalamazoo zone. And the K's will see if they can finally dent the armor of Larry Dick, who has been near sensational. Both goaltenders in this series, Pokey Reddick with a save percentage of almost 93%. Larry Dick, his counterpart with Kalamazoo, a save percentage of 91%. And, Scott, when you come out here, I guess the players to start a period, you're always looking for that quick, good shot in your first shift out there to see if you can make something happen right away.
That's exactly it. It's always good to start a game. I always enjoyed starting a hockey game because you're out there, you got the first shift, you can try to set the tempo, and with the icing, and they dump the puck right in right away and force Kalamazoo to ice, and that's what you want, to face off in the offensive zone only 12 seconds in.
Now Boudreau and Lenardin line it up for the draw to the left of goaltender Larry Dick. Boudreau pokes it ahead. Brad Berry of Kalamazoo behind his goal. Around the boards, Nesic takes the hard hit from Darren Smith. Shaughnessy wheels the puck deep into Kalamazoo territory, but that'll be an icing, or I should say an offside against the Komets. Looked like Shaughnessy was just behind the Comet red line, but he stepped in, tried to dump the puck in the Kalamazoo zone, and his team had not started to clear the zone quickly enough, so that will be ruled offside against the Komets. We're just 20 seconds into period 2 here of this Turner Cup playoff game between the Komets and Kalamazoo. 1-0 Wings. Again, in the first period, if you just joined us, the Komets outshot Kalamazoo 18-6, but could not get one past Kalamazoo goaltender Larry Dick. Lenardin and Boudreau on the draw again. Boudreau dumps it back to Shaughnessy, who fires it into the Kalamazoo zone. Dick behind his goal cannot control it. Again, the hard hit by Darren Smith on Paul Gerard, but K-Wings start the rush back to center ice. Now it's Lenardin feeding the puck deep into the Comet corner. Reddick steers it ahead. Shaughnessy tries to clear. Kept in, though, by Nesic. That's Robinson. He takes the hard hit from Boudreau. Now Corey Kocher on the wing. Nesic harasses him with the shillelagh. Kocher tries to feed in the slot. Nobody there, and Brad Berry just feathers the clearing pass to center ice. Shaughnessy to Kocher. Kocher, his quick shot is blocked on the play by Kalamazoo. And here comes big Craig Cox starting the rush up ice for K-Wings. Cox fakes the shot. Tries to go deep into the Comet corner. His centering pass. Oh, Goddess can't quite get the stick on it. He puts it wide. Now it's Kelly Hurd leading the charge for the K's down the wing. Looks to beat his man. He's rubbed off the play by Straub. Now Davidson slips by his man, but again, the puck cleared out by K-Wings. Goddess ahead. Good play by Lucic to keep the puck at center ice. Now here's Richard with a head of steam into the Kalamazoo zone. Centering pass just too strong for Peter Hankinson. Cox feeds it ahead to Goddess, but off his skate and dumped back in by Kelly Hurd. Scott Sandelin will lead the charge for Kalamazoo. His pass goes ahead to Steve Goddess. Long pass, no one there for Kalamazoo, and Berger leaves it for Chin. Dumped ahead, now Colin Chin, too strong at the blue line. He tries to bump Goddess off the play. And it's the long shot by Sandelin. He takes the ice. He's looking for the line change for Kalamazoo. And the Komets again will have another face-off deep in Kalamazoo territory. 2 minutes gone in period 2. We'll be back.
Ace Rent-A-Car has great cars at super saver rates. When your plans call for a car or van, phone Ace Rent-A-Car. For example, rent a Chevrolet Cavalier 4-door at the reduced price of only $109 for an entire week. Just $109. Why pay more? Ace Rent-A-Car also rents van conversions, passenger vans, and minivans. Save at Ace Rent-A-Car, 2 blocks north of Glenbrook on Speedway Drive. Open weekdays from 7 until 6 and Saturdays from 8 until 2.
A little repair work being done in the Kalamazoo crease that Larry Dick is occupying for the K-Wings, and they patch up that. Scott, the ice a little soft tonight, obviously, because of the humidity, and that will make it for a slower track out there.
Yeah, it certainly will. It'll speed down most of the. It always helps my game when it's a slow surface like that. I can't catch up to those speedy guys as it is. I like to try to get the game down to my level.
Your level's still pretty high, believe me. Now off the draw, the Komets chase the puck. Chris McRae behind the goal. Comes out with it along the boards. McRae dumps it back in. Now it's behind. Bill Berger taken off the play by Miller. Now it's Mitchell giving the ride to McRae. The Komets trying to dig it out along the boards. McRae chases the puck. He's held off the play by Mitchell. And there will be a penalty called. Mitchell will go off for the hold, and the Komets will once again go on the power play.
It's good. That's a good play by Chris McRae. That's his forte. In the corners and out of the corners, behind the net. He controls the puck very well. What he's doing here, he's stepping on the puck to control it, to keep the Kalamazoo stick away. And then once he gets free, if Mitchell doesn't grab him there, Chris is going to walk out from behind the net and hopefully get a scoring opportunity. It's actually not a bad penalty to take at that particular point in time.
Well, and as you said, this is a situation where you don't expect to see too many penalties. If you do, minor penalties like holding, hooking, tripping, and that, and it's the kind of penalties teams do not want to take in the 7th game. This gives the Komets another power play opportunity. And sooner or later, when you're out shooting your opposition, as you said, Scott, 3-1, you're going to get one in.
Law of averages, I think they call that.
Now Richard has the puck. The one-timer by Kosher in front. Coliseum, another rebound, scores!
The law of averages.
You called it. What a play by the Komets, controlling the face-off. The long shot knocked down in front through a maze of players. Colin Chin pounces on the rebound, puts in the goal. We're even here, 1-1, just 5 seconds into the power play.
Control of the face-off. Kent got us that goal. Draw comes over. Corey Kosher, one of the best shots in pro hockey. Takes a shot to net. He hits somebody. He could drop straight down. We've got 2 guys all over it. Chinner found the hole.
And again, you see Larry Dick bobbing his head. He was screened on the play, and Chinner made no mistake right there on the doorstep.
That's a big goal for those guys down there. I can't tell you how much that's going to lift them up.
Well, and the good news is, as we talked about, trying to get a goal early here to start this period, that evens things up, and it also wakes up the 8,100-plus fans we have here in this building. Now it's Flickel behind his own net. Oh, the pass is intercepted, though, by Robinson. Kosher goes after it. Now it's Shaughnessy off the boards. Too strong for Turner, deep into Kalamazoo ice. There'll be no icing on the plate. Berry takes the hit from Turner. Oh, Flickel has the puck bounce over his stick. Now Robinson has the puck along the boards. He's being hassled by Kosher. Turner goes in deep to play it. And Shaughnessy takes the hard hit, but clears the zone for the Komets. Scott Sandelin goes back for K-Wings. Again, the goal by Chin, his 3rd of the playoffs. Assist from Richard and Kosher. We're all even here. Here comes Kalamazoo back into the Komet zone. Straub tries to center. Reddick jumps out quickly and pounces on it, and now the Komets clear the goal crease in front of Pokey Reddick. Mark Janssens was poking for the rebound. Reddick jumped out to smother the puck, and Janssens followed in there, and the Komets would have none of that.
Well, here's the play by Straub. He just gets it on the net. Pokey makes a good play here. Smother the puck. Obviously, the whistle had gone. and a good play to clear out in front of the net. You can't really let them, at this point in the series or any point in any series, go after a goaltender like that. Obviously, with the adrenaline flowing, they're just trying to get the puck free and get a goal. Good non-call by the referee there, letting both teams play.
Gave him a bit of a warning and said, okay, you both made your point, now go back to playing hockey. Goddess draws it back to Rob. Straub takes the hard hit on the play from Kelly Hurd. Now the team's digging along the corner. Wilson tries to feed it to Goddess. Reddick clears it along the boards. Hankinson manages to poke it to center ice where Richard gives chase. Straub with the high backhander into the Komets zone. Kerry Lucic goes back for it. He wraps it off the boards, but not out. Goddess in the slot. Wilson tries for the shot, poked away by Reddick. And there's going to be a penalty on the play, it looks like.
Oh, no.
We'll have to see if we have a penalty, or we'll have to see if it was just a whistle for the injured Kalamazoo player. We'll be back with the Turner Cup playoffs after this.
Cash back. No money down. Rebates, rebates, rebates.
Enough already. All car dealers offer incentives and special financing. I got tired of all the shouting, and I found a dealer who would talk. Crumback Simons. Same incentives as everyone else. But Crumback Simons gave me the best deal without the hype. So what is all this shouting about? When you can't do better than Crumback Simons.
Our new and used selection has never been better. Crumback Simons Chevrolet Gia.
There you see Jean-Marc Richard sitting in the Comet penalty box. He is called for high sticking.
Well, as I mentioned at the break there, JM there heading up ice with the puck. Made a good play by taking the man down. Had a stick just in front of his, gloves in his arms. And when the player went down, hit the shaft of JM's stick. High sticking is usually where the puck, when the stick is above the shoulder. The player was on the way down. It's incidental contact almost. That's a tough call, I'll tell you right now, especially with, you think the momentum's going our way. Now we have to kill a penalty, and we've been doing it all series. It's got to continue here at this point.
Well, the Kalamazoo bench and Coach Bob Hoffmeyer were lobbying for a 5-minute major there. Of course, they want to see Jean-Marc Richard out of the Comet lineup.
Who wouldn't?
I think they got lucky enough in your case. They don't need another guy. The Komets managed to clear the puck, and they again have to try and choke off another Kalamazoo power play. 16 minutes to go here in the second period. We're even 1-1 in this 7th and deciding game of the Turner Cup playoff quarterfinal series. And Kalamazoo with the strong pass ices the puck, so the faceoff now goes back into the wing zone. Scott, for as even as this series has been, I think one of the real highlights for the Komets has been is up until Saturday night in Game 6, the team has done a tremendous job of stopping the Kalamazoo power play.
Yeah, that's definitely been one of our highlights right now. I know that I think they're only about 12%, which is, astronomical when you figure you're killing it at an 88% clip. That's just great penalty killing, and it's a testament to Al's new system of just forcing them in their own zone.
Chin on the draw with Lenardin. K-Wings control the puck. Behind the net it goes to Moylan. The Komets with 2 forecheckers. Kosher intercepts. Centers a Chin. Chin's quick shot just off the pad of Larry Dick. Great pressure by the Komets again on this penalty kill. Now Chin is ridden hard by 2 Kalamazoo players into the corner. No call on that play, and here come the Wings. Lenard into the Comet zone. Tries to find Mitchell in the slot. Now it's Moylan's shot. Hits deflected away by Bob Jay. Chin takes his man hard off the play. Kalamazoo dumps it into the Comet corner. Jay takes the hit on the play from Message. Now Moylan piles on top of Bob Jay, and there will be a face-off. 1 minute, 11 seconds left in the Kalamazoo power play.
I'll tell you, Ken, the referee's job is tough enough without 8,100 people, going crazy. And, I wouldn't want that job, believe me. They earn every penny they get, I'm sure. But it's very difficult as a player to sit up here and chastise them. Or actually, it's easy to chastise them.
It's really easy.
But it's difficult to, just to hold your emotion when you're looking at guys just seemingly getting mugged out there at some points. I'm just referring to Chinner's position behind the net there.
You don't deliberately make him look bad, though, do you?
Not I.
Yet Miller controls the draw. It goes back to the point. Barry's long shot off the blocker of Reddick, and Shaughnessy clears the length of the rink. Well, you can talk about it till you're blue in the face, but obviously hockey, one of the more difficult, if not most difficult sports to officiate. One man trying to watch 10 guys on the ice. He has to have eyes in the back of his head and perhaps in the back of his pants or his feet because it's tough to see.
Yeah.
Well, you got to have them, and I admire them.
That's for sure. I'll tell you one thing that they've discussed is going to a 2-referee system like they did try in college hockey. I think that would be a major mistake. It's tough enough on one guy. I hate to think what it'd be like with 2 guys.
Now Kalamazoo in the Komet zone. Feeds it to Messier in the slot. He fans on the shot, goes wide. Now Messier almost taken down by his own man. Back into the corner. Reynolds tries to come. Oh, in the slot. Gerard's quick shot is blocked. It hit Lee Davidson in the seat of the pants. Here comes Kip Miller. That's blocked by Lucic. And Peter Hankinson rips it the length of the rink. Just 10 seconds left in this Kalamazoo power play. The K's trying to choke off another attempt by the Wings. Richardson goes hard along the boards, kept in by Reynolds behind the net. Messier taken off the play, and here comes Kelly Hurd. He feeds the high pass ahead, Darren Smith. Both teams now at even strength. Kalamazoo changing on the fly. Here come the Komets. Bobby J starts the rush. Ahead to Hurd. That pass too strong. Rob along the boards. Here comes Cox. Big Craig Cox. Starts deep in the Komet zone. Turns it in front. Now it's Gerard. Oh, his shot just slips by Reddick, but goes through the crease on the bad angle. There's a tip by Goddess, and he's taken down. There'll be another Komet penalty on the play. Bobby J tries to poke it away. It goes back to the point. Gerard goes deep into the corner. Reddick can't play it. Now Kelly Hurd races for the puck. And there will be another Komet penalty on the play. Amazingly enough, it looks like he's calling another high stick.
Komet penalty number 23, Bob James, doing it high sticking. Time 6:26.
Well, Scott, it's a situation where the Komets do such a great job in their special teams, but how many times can you go to the well? And again, you know, you can see Goddess go down right in front of Reddick, but I'm not sure if Goddess just kind of lost his feet or was helped, but I didn't see the high stick.
Well, we've got a replay here looking at it. There you see Stevie Goddess coming out from behind the net. And, questionable call again. You know, it looked to me like, you know, BJ just doing his job, clearing out from in front of the net, give him a little push from behind. You know, I didn't see a high stick on that play. If anything, it might have been a cross-checking. But again, you know, borderline call. We're at a 1-1 hockey game midway through the game. It's a great game so far, and you know, the penalties are all but even, 1 or 2 here or there on the other, and you know, against us, but.
Well, Coach Bob Hoffmeyer was really giving it to referee Stephen Walkham. He wants a unit out on the ice right now. And it seems to me Kalamazoo should be flirting with a delay of game penalty.
Yeah, I don't know what they're upset about. You've got a power play unit, send it out there. You know, you got a break on the penalty, and you know, you got to try to turn it your way. You know, again, the guys are going to have to go to the well here and kill this 2 minutes.
Goddess on the draw with Colin Chin. Goddess is chased out of the faceoff, as is Chin. So now a couple of new centermen come in there, Tim Lenardon and Corey Koser. 1-1 hockey game, 13:34 to go in period number 2. And the Komets again trying to shut down another Kalamazoo power play. Lucic can't clear, it's along the boards. Lenardon bumped by Lucic. Goddess takes the heavy hit from Koser, who levels him. Oh, and a centering pass to Ross Wilson, and he bangs it by Reddick. Beautiful centering pass on the play, and Ross Wilson has now become the leading goal scorer for the Kalamazoo Wings in the playoffs with goal number 6. And again, one of those plays where Pokey Reddick had no chance.
No, again, another just redirection more than a deflection on that play. Stems here, you know, the puck jumped into the middle, the pass came across, and he just redirected it right there. We couldn't regroup fast enough. The puck was in the corner, and Louis had a great opportunity to get out. They just jammed the boards. He took a slap shot, hit a couple of legs, bounced out into the middle of the ice, and that's what happened when you flood the zone like that to try to get the puck out. Everyone's, you know, clamoring to get the puck out. A loose puck like that, an unfortunate turnover.
Wilson's second goal of the game, 6th of the playoffs, assist from Goddess and Robinson. Goddess really paid the price as he fed that pass across to Robinson, leveled by Corey Koser. But you have to figure he'll take it because he got the assist on the lead goal, and Kalamazoo again goes up by the score of 2-1. 13:18 left here in period 2. The Komets have outshot the K-Wings 20-8. But on the scoreboard, it reads 2-1 Kalamazoo. Now it's Lenardin for the draw with Lee Davidson. Kalamazoo again controls the faceoff. Now Moylan steps over the red line, dumps it deep into the Comet corner. Richardson chased by Lenardin. Tries to slip the check. Now Bobby J. Who wants to play the puck? Nesic dumps the backhand behind the Comet goal. Now it's Richardson hard off the boards. Kelly Hurd giving chase with Moylan. He takes him hard into the corner. Now Davidson can't quite play the puck. Richardson bumped hard by Janssens, but he knocks him on the seat of his pants. And again, deep in Kalamazoo zone. Here come the Wings bringing it out. Ahead to Kip Miller. Miller and Richard go into the Comet corner. Jean-Marc Richard behind the Comet goal, and here comes Phil Berger. Berger tries to pass ahead to Hankinson, can't quite find him. Now it's Jean-Marc Richard. Richard into the zone, lets the shot go, but blocked by Barry, who went down to try and stave off the shot. Centering pass intercepted now. Here comes Mitch Messier ahead to Kip Miller. Lucic chases him off the play. Bobby Reynolds in the Comet zone. Slips by Richard. His quick shot. Oh, one save by Reddick, and he's got the rebound. Good play by Pokey Reddick. It's 2-1 Kalamazoo. You're watching the Turner Cup playoffs on TV 33.
Superior Auto. What makes us different? The Big Zero. That's right. Zero Down delivers quality used cars. Superior Auto, Northeast Indiana's largest buy here, pay here auto dealer, can get you financed when others can't and put you in the car you've always wanted with Zero Down. Now's the time to buy. The selection's fantastic. All cars priced to sell. Hurry into Superior Auto where you can get the Big Zero. Zero Down delivers only at Superior Auto. Fort Wayne, Angola, Warsaw, Kokomo, and Kendallville.
Oh, that's a good save by Pokey Reddick here. Little Reynolds made a good play, and then the rebound came out to Messier, and Pokey stuffed the short side and made a good save to keep the game 2-1.
Reynolds, one of the more effective players for Kalamazoo in the playoffs. He has 4 goals, and he's one of those kind of spark plug type of players who really motors once he gets in the attacking zone.
Yeah, I came over in a trade there mid to late in the year, and he's been a spark plug for him, that's for sure.
Miller kicks the draw back to Reynolds. Reynolds now doing some stick work against Darren Smith. Both teams break now. Now it's Flickel slipping by his man. Todd Flickel centers. Corey Kocher can't put the stick on it. Bruce Boudreau with the quick bad angle shot, and that hits Dick in the pads. Now it's Darren Smith going into the corner for Kalamazoo with Straub. Straub takes the hit by Corey Kocher. Boudreau goes after the puck trying to keep it in, but here come the Wings looking to clear. They can't get the job done. Kocher centers the pass. Dick comes out and smothers it for the faceoff. You can tell Corey Kocher has really been playing with a lot more intensity the last couple of games. He's wearing his hat a little loose. It seems like once every other shift he's got that helmet off.
Yeah, it pops off a little bit. It's just a comfort thing with Corey. We kid him about it all the time. His chin strap hangs down. That's what keeps the thing on. It just the way he's playing, tonight, I got a feeling he's going to get one for us before this one's over.
11 minutes, 41 seconds left in period 2. Kalamazoo leads the Komets 2-1. Ken Torman along with Scott Gruel and Hilliard Gates from the Coliseum bringing you the 7th and deciding game of the Turner Cup quarterfinal playoff series with the Komets and Wings live, and we're glad you could join us. Grant Richardson's quick shot is deflected into the corner, and Kalamazoo breaks out. Moylan ahead to Ross Wilson. He has both Kalamazoo goals in this game. Now Wilson working on Richardson. Richardson takes him hard into the corner. Cox trying to dig the puck out. Now Cox and Jay working hard. Jay feeds it up ahead to Hurd. Hurd at center now to Lee Davidson. Davidson feathers the pass to Hankinson. Hankinson tries to leave it, but Cox comes back to take over. Now the Komets go after the puck. And again, more pressure being put on Dick. He comes out for the faceoff.
Well, it's pretty obvious Larry Dick, whenever the puck is around the net, is just going to try and slow the play down, get his team a little, try to take the crowd of it and get as many stoppages of play as possible. The guys haven't let that goal hinder their enthusiasm, that's for sure. They're going out there being as intense as they were in the first period. And, trying to put the pressure on the Wings. That's a weakness that we've tried to exploit is defensively. And, at this time, with a 2-1 game, we're out shooting them as bad as we are right now. Again, like you talked about in the first period, Ken, eventually, we're gonna get one here to tie this thing up.
Well, you said that last time, and Colin Chin banged one in about 5 seconds later, so we'll see if your magic works again. Bruce Boudreau on the draw against Tim Lenardin. And Kalamazoo again breaks out. Mark Janssens, a former Olympian, dumps the puck into the Comet corner. Reddick clears it off the boards. And here comes Darren Smith with the puck. Smith clears the center ice. Girard takes the bump from Boudreau. And Scott Shaughnessy turns it up in his own end. Kosher just takes the pass and dumps it to neutral ice. Brad Berry goes back for the Kalamazoo Wings. Now to Paul Girard. Shaughnessy tries to wrap it into the Kalamazoo zone, but off of Darren Smith. Now Smith plays his man along the boards. Tries to tie him up. Nesic stepped into by Shaughnessy. Well, it hasn't been a very physical series, but Jansen goes in and gives Shaughnessy a little poke, so Shaughnessy returns it with interest. And I don't think that's a matchup that Kalamazoo wants, Jansen and Shaughnessy.
No, that kid's a big, strong kid, and they need him. They need him out on the ice more than anything else, and we need Shags out there. With his presence out there, his physical play. You got to have both guys on the ice. And again, a credit to the referees letting them play. That may have erupted into a brawl 2-3 games ago. Certainly 2 weeks ago it would have. But this time, the guys are holding their minds a little bit. They're a little bit more intent on staying on the ice.
Well, you talk about the discipline in any playoff series, but you get to that 7th game, and boy, it's discipline with a capital D.
It's for sure.
Komets shoot the puck deep into Kalamazoo's corner. They try to bring it out, but can't do it, and here come the Wings breaking out with Kip Miller. He just dumps the backhander into the Komet zone. Jean-Marc Richard turns it back up ice. Slips through a couple of K-Wing players. Now Phil Berger. He can't quite split the defense. And Messier to center now. It's to Bobby Reynolds. Richard pokes it away from Miller. And he's bodied off the play by Chris McRae. Now Messier. The cross-ice pass to Brian Straub. Straub's pass center ice. Intercepted by Lucic. Lucic brings it into the zone. Quick wrist shot just goes wide. And K-Wings clear the zone. Jean-Marc Richard again turns it up at center ice. Dumps it in off the Kalamazoo player. Well, apparently he didn't. And away from the play, Jean-Marc Richard, cross-checked by Reynolds. The referee did not see it. The linesman keep Richard from going after Reynolds at the Kalamazoo bench, which would be ill-advised. And I think that's when Jean-Marc will file away.
Yeah, I think so. I think you got to, obviously you're turning the other cheek here in the 7th game. No retaliation penalties. That's important. They're taking penalties from hard work. That's the key right there. We're not taking any retaliation penalties, which may have happened earlier in the series, but as we mentioned, not in the 7th game.
Steve Gaddis on the face-off with Lee Davidson. Gaddis out there with Cox and Ross Wilson, who has both Kalamazoo goals. Colin Chin has scored for the Komets. It's 2-1 K-Wings. A weak shot from the point goes into the corner. Wilson is chased by Bobby Jay. And Jay trying to play the puck. Now it's back to Lee Davidson. Davidson slips the check of Gaddis and starts up ice to Hurd along the wing. Hurd can't quite get by his man. Moylan played him heavily along the boards. Now he's bumped by Lee Davidson, and here comes Dave Moylan for Kalamazoo. Moylan with the quick shot behind the goal. Reddick gets a little bit of the stick on it. Hurd and Cox tumble to the ice. Now it's Bobby Jay playing Wilson, then he takes the body from Cox. Mitchell at the point. His shot in the slot, steered away by Hurd. And here comes Davidson breaking ahead to Peter Hankinson. He'll try and beat Mitchell. Hankinson. Oh, the quick wrist shot knocked down by Larry Dick, and there'll be a penalty on the play of the Kalamazoo Wings.
And now's a golden opportunity for us to cash in on our power play here. We're a nice feed by Lee Davidson up to Peter Hankinson. Used his body well to shield the defender. All he had to do was wrap him up and tie him up, and hopefully he wouldn't get the call. Hank still got a good shot on goal. Here he is coming off the wing. Again, shielding the defender, getting the shot on goal. Dick goes down, just tries to smother it. Kalamazoo touches the puck, and we're on the power play.
Did I see some sparks from the skates down there?
Yeah, there may have been. The posts usually come off the moorings on a play like that with all that, all those bodies going into it. Unfortunately, it didn't that time. It's a good thing. You talk about the magnets. It saved a lot of careers, that's for sure.
9 minutes left here in the second period. 2-1 Kalamazoo. The K's on the power play. It took them just 5 seconds the last time they had the man advantage to tie this up. They'll try again. Here's the drive from the point by Richard. It hits McRae in the seat of the pants. The K's still control. Now it's Boudreau. The Komets setting up the power play. Boudreau's pass for Chin in the corner. McRae trying to set up shop in front of the Kalamazoo net. Now Boudreau to Chin at the face-off circle. Colin Chin, the pass blocked by Kazoo. Now, Boudreau scores! Bruce Boudreau, the veteran, Komets was stopped and blocked by the Kalamazoo defense. The rebound lay in the slot. And Boudreau made no mistake, jumping on the loose puck and snapping home the tying goal. It's 2-2.
Well, Turner tried to feather the puck through to Gabby. It went off Chris right here to him. He made no mistake going again, where we tried to go all series long over his shoulder. Larry Dick, I don't believe, saw the puck come out of that scramble. Here it is in here. Now Dick is going to go down here. Gabby just fires it over his left shoulder. Just a fantastic goal for us. And obviously a big uplifting goal for us. Get this thing tied 2-2 with 8:40 to go.
For Boudreau, his second goal of the playoffs, and we're all even again, 2-2. Now the K's try and put the pressure on again. Davidson steps into Reynolds, but here come the wings. Pass too strong for Messier. Reddick fields it like a first baseman, takes the face-off. We'll be back with more playoff action from the Coliseum after this.
When you need a little extra help, you can count on Kelch Pharmacy. We'll deliver your prescription to your home. Oh, these days it may not make a whole lot of business sense to deliver, but it sure makes a lot of friends. Home delivery when you need it. From your good friend for life, Kelch Pharmacy.
8 minutes and 18 seconds left in period 2. The Komets have just scored the equalizer. Bruce Boudreau's second goal of the playoffs on an assist from Colin Chin. The Komets' second power play goal of the game, and we are tied 2-2 in this 7th and deciding game of the Turner Cup quarterfinal playoff series between the Komets and Kalamazoo Wings. And Scott, after that goal, the jungle is alive again.
Yeah. It just seems like every player, every puck gets the post or whatever, this place is just alive. It's electric. It's unbelievable.
The Komets have now outshot Kalamazoo 23-10. And we're even once more 2-2. Kalamazoo just clears the zone, dumping it deep in the Komet end. Bobby J pursued by Goddess. And Cox takes the heavy hit on the play from Grant Richardson. Now it's Wilson scrumming along the boards with Kelly Hurd. Cox tries to dig it out from Richardson's skates. Now it's fed along the boards and poked out on the play by Lee Davidson. Paul Gerard goes back for the Kalamazoo Wings. Ahead to Goddess. He takes the bump from McRae, and Richard will go behind his goal. Just play it off the boards. Richard leaves it for McRae, who gets up ahead of steam. Now ahead to Kelly Hurd. Long pass off a Colin Chin stick. Chinner off the boards. Here's Jean-Marc Richard. Richard centers. Hurd plays it off the wing. Slips the one check. Now right in the slot. Oh! Quick save by Larry Dick off the skate. He didn't see it. The Komets turning the pressure on here in the latter stages of period 2. Richard wraps it into the Kalamazoo zone. Funny bounce off the boards, then it hits Larry Dick. And the Komets are called for offside on the play. 7:13 to go in period 2. The game tied 2-2. We'll be back.
A news update from TV 33, your 24-hour local news channel.
Good evening, 9:03, 64 degrees. I'm Linda Jackson. A Marion judge will rule in 6 weeks whether or not the Adams Center landfill will expand 9 acres, something the company's wanted to do for 4 years. About 70% of the 12,500 Caterpillar workers in Illinois returned to work today after a long strike. And the pumping of the water continues in the Windy City. More news and weather later.
But it's terrific. Yeah.
7 minutes left in period 2. We've got a dandy here at the Coliseum. 2-2, the Komets in Kalamazoo. Jean-Marc Richard chases the puck in his own zone, being pursued by Jim Nessich. Now Jansen's in the corner. He takes the hit from Kerry Lusick. Boudreau behind the net finds Jean-Marc Richard. At the point, Mitchell keeps it in. Reddick waves at that shot that sails wide. Now Jansen's being chased by Lusick. It's Robinson in the slot. Here come the Komets, though. Jean-Marc Richard leads the rush. Corey Kocher will try and split the defense. Kocher. And the Komets again called offside. Darren Smith just a stride ahead of the play.
Just a little over anxious on the left wing, Smitty. I know Corey made that last little deke there at the blue line to try and evade a poke check, and often that's all it takes to put a team offside.
Well, this game was everything it was billed to be when you get to a 7th game, and these two teams have really gone at it here in this series. 2-2, 6.5 minutes to go in the second period. This has been a good one. Now Bobby J off the draw. Fires it hard into the Kalamazoo zone, played by Brian Straub. He's forechecked by Hankinson and Davidson. Side of the net. Dick bats it away, and here come the K-Wings. Kip Miller leads the charge into the Komet zone. Batted away, though, by Grant Richardson. Now the K's start to rush back. Peter Hankinson. And there will be an advancing the puck to the teammate with a hand call.
Discretionary call. I don't know whether it hit him in the hand or the arm or whatever.
And as you can tell, not a very popular call with the 8,100 people who paid the referee this game.
As is their prerogative.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's great to be a fan.
It's tough being a fan, though. You know, I haven't been a fan. I'm a fan of all other sports, of course, but...
Well, I was never much of a fan of yours for about 8 years. Now, all of a sudden, I had to change my spots over the last year and a half.
Be careful, kid. Who'd have thunk it? We've been sitting here right now, eh?
I never would have believed it. Now the Komets try to clear the zone, and they do. Davidson pokes it ahead. Kalamazoo starts in their own end. Straub up along the boards, intercepted by Hurd. He dumps it in while Hankinson clears the zone. And Kalamazoo again has the puck behind its own goal. 5 minutes, 48 seconds to go in period 2. A 2-2 hockey game. Now Kalamazoo. Reynolds plays it off the boards into the Komet zone. Jay hustles back. Hurd takes the return pass from Davidson. Kelly Hurd, the drive off the wing and high into the glove of Larry Dick. Now Brad Berry. A long pass off the boards. Here comes Bobby Reynolds. Reynolds working on Flickle. That's blocked by Flickle, and Flickle hauls Reynolds down. No call on that play. Now here comes McRae down the wing. His pass too strong for Berger. Chindo controls and dumps it back in. Brad Berry, a fine rushing defenseman for the Wings. Clears it to center. Shaughnessy flags it down and dumps it deep into Kalamazoo territory again. And it'll be a delayed offside call against the Komets. Scott, you made a point earlier, we were away for commercial, that, you know, the physical play is still here. It's kind of a shame all the stuff that had to happen in those first 6 games to get to this. A lot of the cheap stuff, a lot of the brawling and clutching and grabbing and that. Now we're seeing hockey at its finest form in Game 7. It's kind of a shame it's not like that on a more consistent basis.
Yeah, I don't know if, if you could play it that way. You know, the teams are jockeying position earlier on in the series, trying to get the intimidation factor, swaying from one bench to the other, and well, this is what it's all about. You know, this is what the 7th game of any series, baseball, whatever it may be. The excitement is just incredible, and you're going to play your best, and the best hockey or best sport always comes out.
Now Todd Flickle tries to shoot it in, but it's cleared up and over into the Komet bench, so they'll do it all again. Well, an interesting thing, too, is to talk about the intimidating factor. Most of the big boppers for both teams are cooling their heels. In this one, of course, Warren Reichel and Enrico Ciccone is not in the lineup for Kalamazoo. And Steve Fletcher, I know, is reluctantly sitting this one out tonight, as is the fellow to my left, Scott Gruel.
I logged a lot of Pele minutes.
You've been known to intimidate a fellow or two.
Yeah, sure. All the small guys.
Are you churning inside right now?
A little bit. Maybe I need a burger or something. I'm kind of feeling the pressure a little bit here myself.
Todd Flickle now behind the net, trying to fend off Steve Gottis. Gerard, his shot, knocked down in front. The Komets try to clear the slot, and here comes Boudreau. Boudreau starts the rush up ice. Bruce Boudreau has a little room to skate. The Flickle on the slot, he shoots. Oh, it's wide. Beautiful play by Boudreau, but Flickle shot it wide. Intercepted by Darren Smith. Smith skates in. His backhander gloved by Larry Dick. Another spectacular save by Larry Dick. 4.5 minutes left in period 2. We're tied 2-2. This is the Turner Cup playoffs on TV 33.
We have some specials going on right now at O'Daniel.
Some people think tent sales are just gimmicks. Well, not at O'Daniel. Get Olds Achievas as little as $199 a month. Eagle Summits from just $69.95. Mazda MX-6 and 626 liquidation discounts up to $4,200. And over 30 GM program cars, thousands off original cost. Our competition can't be undersold. Our tent sale says they can.
This sale ends soon, so stop in or call and see what O'Daniel can do for you. O'Daniel, a good deal better.
Colin Chin against Tim Lenardon for the face-off here. 4.5 minutes left in the second period. It's a 2-2 hockey game. Chin draws it back to Berger. Berger, good pass to Richard. His drive goes high off the blocker. Dick dives after the rebound, and he'll take the face-off. And the Komets continue to pour the pressure and the rubber on Kalamazoo goaltender Larry Dick. They've now outshot the Wings in this hockey game 27-10.
Larry Dick getting up slowly there. Facing 27, and who knows how many have gone wide, and the traffic in front. It's a tough position being a goaltender. I'll tell you what, I played once in a peewee game or something, goaltender. I would never want, and somebody, they're not all there anyway, goalies, when you think about it. You know a lot of goalies, Kent.
I started out as a goalie, so that should say something.
Bingo, there you go, figure it out.
Scott, you don't have the stitches.
I'll take the stitches over trying to face something 100 miles an hour.
Now it's Richard. He's taking the heavy pressure by Nethich. Richard goes down deep in the Kalamazoo zone. He hustles back out to his position on the point, and here come the Wings flying out of the Komet zone. Good play by Berger to put the pressure on Moylan, but here comes Lenardin. Now it's Lenardin. He takes the long shot. Oh, that's steered wide. Nethich behind the net now. Two Kalamazoo players going at it with a couple of Komets. Robinson takes the dive, looks for the call. There is no call. And Colin Chin over center ice now into the Kalamazoo zone. Colin Chin weaving with the puck. Chin takes a hard hit, and that'll be a penalty.
For sure.
Straub with a bit of a cheap shot against Colin Chin, and he'll cool some penalty time. And this is one of those bad penalties. You have an even hockey game, just over 3.5 minutes to go. And the K's will go on the power play again. They've already scored twice with the man advantage. Brian Straub will cool 2 minutes on the boarding call. And with 3 minutes, 39 seconds left in period number 2 in a 2-2 hockey game, the Komets will put their power play on the ice once more and try and take the lead for the first time this evening.
Obviously, great opportunity for us here. This is, since the early part of the game, they scored early in the first period. It's a good opportunity for us here to get the lead for the first time. I think it would do wonders for the guys' morale. They worked so hard so far all game, and I expect it to continue. And it would just be a great service to them if they could just get one here.
Well, the power play unit for the Komets: Davidson, Hankinson, Boudreau, Kocher manning a spot at the point along with Grant Richardson. Davidson on the draw against Steve Goddess. And again, they rule the puck unfairly dropped because both teams trying to cheat a bit to get the advantage on this all-important face-off. Davidson and Goddess again set for the draw. The puck goes in the slot where it's whipped the length of the rink by Kalamazoo. The K's will start over in their own end. 3.5 minutes left in period 2, a 2-2 hockey game, the Komets and Kalamazoo. The K's on the power play. Davidson ahead to Boudreau. Now Boudreau to Kocher. Kocher crosses the line. Hankinson dumps it into the corner. Kalamazoo, though, gets to the puck first and clears it the length of the rink. Reddick now feeds the quick pass ahead to Kocher. Kocher gets Boudreau behind the defense. Here's Boudreau. Back pass to Lee Davidson. Davidson feeds it into the corner now behind the net. Boudreau back to the point for Richardson. Boudreau lets it go behind the net. Now here's Hankinson looking for a man in the slot. The Komets have no one in the slot. Boudreau gets the puck at the top of the circle. Now Boudreau looking for a shot. Fakes in the slot. It's blocked by Barry. The Komets, though. Davidson controls, and it's back in the corner for Kocher. Davidson hauled down on the play. Now Kocher, quick shot, just goes wide. Hankinson tries to control along the boards. He keeps it in. Now it's Corey Kocher, top of the circle. Fakes the shot, slips it in. Boudreau's backhander is stopped by Dick. Oh, it's a heavy hit by Kocher. And Hankinson controls the Komets, putting on great pressure on this power play. Boudreau at the side of the net. Takes the hit from Janssens. Now it's Lee Davidson digging in the corner. He fakes the pass. Lee Davidson at the top of the circle. Now it's Corey Kocher. Quick shot to the slot. Boudreau turns. Score!
A fantastic play. I'll tell you, that is so much patience out there by that power play unit. They were out there for a minute and a half, and that's unusually long for a power play. But just a patient play by Corey Kosar, a good pass by Lee Davidson, a turnaround shot by Gabby. I'll tell you, he's coming up large for us here in probably the biggest game of his career. He hasn't won too many championships, if any, in his long, illustrious career.
What a great play. The Komets controlling this power play for a minute, 27 seconds. Look at this great pass in the slot. Boudreau with a quick reaction, makes no mistake.
Again, a great pass by Corey. We'll check it from another angle here from behind Larry Dick. Corey coming out of the corner with the puck, passes it to Gabby, swings around, and that's a sweeping shot that, with Larry Dick's momentum carrying him to his right, the puck goes back to the left, and obviously a huge goal.
Well, and again, what we've talked about throughout this playoff series, got a low shot. Larry Dick has trouble with the low shot.
Exactly.
The wake-up call for Bruce Boudreau. And the fans echo their sentiments. Boudreau, his second goal of the game. Second goal of the period. Third of the playoffs. The assists on the play to Corey Kosar, who made that great pass to Boudreau in the slot, and also Lee Davidson. The Komets have their first lead of the game, 3-2. 2 minutes left here in the second period.
Very important 2 minutes too, Ken. We got to get that puck in. Play with the same intensity. Force the defense to make mistakes. Don't sit on our heels here. There are lots of hockey to go. Just keep the puck in. Keep Kalamazoo hemmed in their own zone. They can't score from 200 feet away. So
Kalamazoo calls for offside on that last play, and this will be the first time now the K-Wings have to play from behind on the road. The fans are on their feet here in the jungle, and you have to wonder now as we wrap up period 2 here if that collar starts getting even tighter for Kalamazoo, having to come from behind now on the road.
Well, they're a quality hockey club, that's for sure, and they've got all the tools. We just got to withstand any pressure that they throw at us, and I know the adrenaline is just pumping through Pokey's veins right now. He's going to have to come up large here in the last minute 54, and certainly in the third period.
Girard's long drive is right on. Reddick knocks it down with the blocker. Jean-Marc Richard, who's logged a lot of ice time in this game, loses the puck, gets centered in front, and score! Ross Wilson on the bad giveaway by the Komets takes the centering pass, tucks in the backhander. That evens things up just like that, and Ross Wilson has the hat trick.
Well, Jean-Marc is trying to fire this puck up the center of the ice. Chinner was breaking through, was picked off by Messier to Wilson, just goes to the backhand, beats Pokey. Pokey was a little caught off guard a little bit on that play, but obviously an ill-advised pass.
Now, this has been one of the bugaboos for the Komets in the playoffs, has been giving up a goal late in a period. And Kalamazoo has answered the bell. All of a sudden, we are even again at 3-3 with a minute and 40 seconds left in the second period.
Well, it's a game of mistakes. Unfortunately, one of the, obviously the best defenseman in the league. 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, he's going to make that pass. It's just at that particular point in time he did.
The Komets called for offside on the play. That goal by Wilson coming just 28 seconds after Boudreau had scored on the power play to give the K's the lead. But we're all even again with 1:28 to go in period 2, 3-3. The Komets have still dominated the shots, 29-12, but this is setting up as a barn burner that is going to have some kind of finish. The Hankinson, Davidson, Hurd line is out against Nesic, Lenardin, and Scott Robinson of Kalamazoo. Barry takes the heavy hit along the boards from Kelly Hurd. Deep in the Komet corner, Bobby J tries to slip the check in Nesic, and he feeds the pass ahead. Now Davidson. He's rubbed off the play by Robinson, but still controls the puck and dumps it in the Kalamazoo corner. Barry chased by Hankinson. Hankinson steals behind the net. Hankinson centers. Kelly Hurd, quick shot, knocked down by Larry Dick. Great save. A great opportunity for Kelly Hurd, but again, Dick was equal to the task. Less than a minute to go in period 2. The Komets again have the puck in Kalamazoo zone. It's cleared now to center ice. Kerry Lusick waits for his team to get onside, wraps it into the Kalamazoo corner. Stopped behind the net by Dick. Here comes Straub. Oh, a Komet hauled down on the play. Looked to be interference, but no call. Now here comes Miller to Reynolds. Reynolds and Miller breaking in 2-on-1. Reynolds beats the pass across to Miller, who couldn't finish. The Komets dodge another bullet here late in the period. Kalamazoo continues the pressure. Boudreau reaches out now along the board, takes the heavy hit from Reynolds. Reynolds is down on the play. Play on, though. Kip Miller at the top of the circle. He's taken off by Lusick. Now it's Mitch Messier. Kalamazoo has a player on the ice. Right in front. Oh, it's a great block by Boudreau. Open net, and Messier couldn't finish. Now a drive by Moylan, and that is blocked. And the whistle blows, and there is a Kalamazoo player on the ice. It's Bobby Reynolds.
Oh, great flurry there. I tell you, I don't know who slid in front of that one shot by Messier as he came out from behind the net, but probably one of the defensemen. I'm guessing it might even be Brucey Boudreau.
It was Boudreau.
Slipped down, knocked that, kept that puck out of the net. Great defensive gem there.
Well, this will be an interesting call here because Reynolds came hard to play Boudreau along the board. You see Bobby Reynolds laying on the ice. It looked like when Boudreau just kind of naturally rose up to defend himself, Reynolds ran face first into Boudreau's stick, perhaps the shaft of his stick. Kalamazoo again is lobbying for a major penalty to be called against Bruce Boudreau. Let's take a look if we can see what happened here. You know, Scott, you look at the replay there, and I'm not sure that maybe Reynolds didn't try and hit Boudreau, miss him, and crash his head either against the glass or the boards, and maybe just kind of cold cock himself for a little bit.
Yeah, Gabby just kind of, got the puck out, which is the primary concern. He looks like he's a little either winded or, knocked out possibly. I see him shake his head there as if the trainer is administering some sort of smelling salt or whatever. If he's going in here, watch Gabby's left forearm here. He gets it up to brace himself on the check. He might have taken an elbow there. That's kind of what it looks like to me. But again, the referee right on the call, and it wasn't a blatant elbow. He's just more or less protecting himself from the check.
Well, and again, from our angle, it's tough to tell whether Reynolds actually ran into the stick, the elbow of Boudreau, or perhaps somewhere along the boards of the glass. Again, Kalamazoo continues to lobby to see if they can get some sort of penalty call on the play. Referee Stephen Walkham has talked to his linesman. But Reynolds is definitely hurt. He's being helped into the penalty box right now. So it appears as he was definitely out cold for a while and still is having a tough time regaining his senses. It does not appear there's going to be a penalty call on the play.
Well, Reynolds has been a thorn in our side here all series long, and actually throughout the remainder of the season when he was, as I mentioned, came over in that trade. He's got 4 goals in the playoffs thus far in the first 6 games, and with his speed, he creates a lot of opportunities, and he's a feisty little guy, and if he's out or whatever it may be, it's definitely going to hurt them in the long run. I think he's going to sit out there the last 8 seconds. I haven't seen that ever.
Well, I would think if he were that seriously hurt, they would try and get him to a training room somehow for some medical attention.
Well, they're checking his jaw area, and I'm pretty sure they administered some smelling salts there to get his senses back.
Well, that's one of those bell ringers, and believe me, that happened to me one time many moons ago, just playing like a pickup game, and there isn't a feeling quite like it, because if you get hit from a blind side or do something like that, and all of a sudden it's lights out, it takes a while to remember where you were.
No, I've been there before. I've been KO'd a few times. It's not fun, I'll tell you.
Just 8 seconds left here in period 2. Chinnon got us for the draw. 3-3 hockey game, so it looks like we'll go to the third period looking for the final 20 minutes to decide who moves on to the Turner Cup semifinals. Unless, of course, it's still tied, then we would go to sudden death overtime. The long shot dumped in by Kalamazoo. Reddick sees it go by the net. The rest of the time runs off the clock, and that's it. We're at the end of 2 periods. It's a 3-3 hockey game, both in the Coliseum after this.
Join the...
Welcome back to the Coliseum. The teams are on the ice again, getting ready to start period number 3. There's not much more we can say. For one team, they'll move on to the Turner Cup semifinals against the Muskegon Lumberjacks, and the other team, I suppose, will start calling for tea times. And Scott Gruel, this has to be tough for you because, I'm on pins and needles as a longtime Comet fan right now, and I know Hilliard's seen a lot of hockey in this building, and we've seen a lot of great hockey. I have seen few better teams than the one Al Sims put together this season. You would hate to see it all come to an end tonight, but 20 minutes perhaps is separating one of these teams from the end of their season. What do you do now? You come out here, get ready to start the third period. Nobody wants to make the key mistake. Somebody wants to make the great play. But obviously there has to be a lot of pressure and perhaps some nervous knees out there right now on both sides.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned it right there, Ken. No one's going to want to make that mistake. Everyone's going to be coming back. I don't believe there's going to be too many chances taken out there by any defense or any winger or missed assignments, that type of thing. It's been a fantastic 40 minutes and just an unbelievable series to this date. And people out there wondering, well, geez, we finished 30 points better. We were first overall in our division. Why is this series that close? And some of the other ones have gone 4-0 and 4-1. Well, it's because of the fact that Minnesota made some late acquisitions in the trade department, and this is a good, strong hockey club. I got to give credit to Bob Hoffmeyer back there, and they put together a good club for this playoff, and they came ready, and we were equal to the challenge, and how much closer can these two teams get?
Two great hockey teams, perhaps the final 20 minutes of what has been a great series. 3-3 as we start the third. The Komets dump it into Boudreau. Boudreau in the slot, can't control the puck, and Kalamazoo turns it back up ice, and here comes Ross Wilson, who's been the big sniper on the night with the hat trick. Wilson, his shot goes just across the crease, and Reddick steers it away. Now the long cross ice pass, Girard, wide open pass to Goddess, and he bangs it in. Kalamazoo takes the 4-3 lead. Beautiful play by the Wings, just 22 seconds into the period, and they have jumped out ahead, 4-3 over the Komets.
Well, Stevie Goddess, I played on a line with him in Muskegon about 5 or 6 years ago, a quality individual and a good hockey player, and he made no mistake with an open net like that. The pass came across here. I believe it's Paul Girard. He spots the open man. Not much poke you can do on that play, or even defensively. It was just victim of circumstance, call it what you will, but we're behind the 8 ball here, 22 seconds in. Things are going to tighten up now. I believe the Kalamazoo may try to sit on that. They may not. We definitely have to try to get that goal back, and we may have to open it up here, but not too soon. Maybe 10, 9, 8 minutes left in the game, but we'll see how it progresses.
Well, a picture play by the Wings, some perfect passing. Again, got us the goal, his third of the playoffs from Girard, who's celebrating a birthday today, and also Craig Cox, and the K-Wings have reclaimed the lead by the score of 4-3. Long shot from Jay, blocked by Larry Dick, and he smothers the rebound. That goal coming just 22 seconds into period 3. Kalamazoo again has the lead by the score of 4-3. 19-17 left in regulation play. And it has to still be a bit frustrating for the Komets because they have outshot the K-Wings in this game 31-15, better than a 2-1 ratio.
Well, again, we're behind. We've been behind before. We've been behind in some games by 4 or 5 goals and come back. It's discouraging, obviously, to be behind here in the third period, but the guys just got to bear down and try and get that equalizer. Easier said than done always, isn't it?
You bet. Chin on the draw with Miller, but Kalamazoo again jumps out on the puck. Here comes Messier busting down the wing. Jay gets ready to stand him up. The pass in the slot for Moylan, the defenseman breaking in. He'll take the hit from Richardson. Messier tries to center. Chin is there to intercept. Cowan backhands it off the boards. Berger is tied up on the play by the Kalamazoo winger. That's Reynolds, who's back in the game, so he must have recovered from the blow he took along the boards late in the second period. Good to see Bobby Reynolds back on the ice. Komets can't clear again. Here's Messier. Messier works in. Now behind the Komets goal, Mitch Messier tries for the wraparound. Messier comes out, still controls. Poked away, though. Bobby J. Now in the slot it goes. Reynolds goes down. And Colin Chin leads the breakout for the Komets. McRae, the long drive. Flagged down with a big mitt by Larry Dick. He'll not give up the rebound. Well, there's no whistle. Now Kalamazoo's Mitchell plays it off the boards. And the K-Wings start back up to center ice. Here's Kip Miller, one of those recent acquisitions that Kalamazoo made through the Minnesota North Stars. Miller tries to beat Richard. He can't. And Boudreau turns it back up ice to the Komets. Along the board, Smith. The return pass to Kerry Lusick. Now it's Boudreau leading the rush into the Komet zone. Pass for Smith. His wrist shot goes wide. Richard's in deep for the K's. Cox tries to clear, and Smith at neutral ice for the K's. Dumps it back in with the backhander. We played 2 minutes of the third period. 4-3 Wings. Richard hit hard on the play. Boudreau keeps it in. Looks in the slot, but knocked down by Barry. Boudreau again with some aggressive forechecking. The Komets realize there is no tomorrow. The pass too strong for Boudreau. Girard flips it ahead. There's a wide open Ross Wilson. Reddick goes in the corner, goes off his stick. Wilson looks for the centering pass, and it's batted away by Kerry Lusick. Now Lusick starts the 3-man rush for the K's. Working on Sandelin. Left for Boudreau. His pass. Kocher tied up in the slot by Goddess. Now it's Cox along the wing. He's the center ice now. Cuts through the middle. Cox into the zone. Pulled off the play by Shaughnessy. Straub races for it. He's bodied off the play by Kocher. Now it's Lusick behind the net playing his man. Scott Shaughnessy pokes at the puck. Kalamazoo still controls. Ross Wilson in the corner. He's given the rough ride by Shaughnessy. Cox goes in looking for the faceoff. They're strumming along the boards. Wilson tries to dig it out. He's being played by both Lusick and Shaughnessy. Kay's having trouble clearing the puck in their own zone. Now Lusick has lost the stick. Reddick wraps it around the boards, but kept it at the point by Sandelin. Deep in the corner again. And the Komets still having trouble in their own end. Davidson plays Lenardin hard. Now it's Shaughnessy going into the corner with Cox. The Komets trying for a faceoff, but Kalamazoo continues to work hard in the Komet zone. Shaughnessy wraps it hard off the boards. Kept in by Nesic now. Jim Nesic looks to center. Reddick bats that one away. Now Nesic pushed hard into the Komet net. It's not quite off its mooring jet, and the referee wisely sets the net back down, and they play on. The Komets did manage to clear the puck. It'll be an icing. More of the Turner Cup playoffs on TV 33 after this.
Superior Auto. What makes us different? The Big Zero. That's right. Zero Down delivers quality used cars. Superior Auto, Northeast Indiana's largest buy here, pay here auto dealer, can get you financed when others can't and put you in the car you've always wanted with Zero Down. Now's the time to buy. The selection's fantastic. All cars priced to sell. Hurry into Superior Auto where you can get the Big Zero. Zero Down delivers only at Superior Auto. Fort Wayne, Angola, Warsaw, Kokomo, and Kendallville.
2 goals, so you got to try to play full.
We're back at the Coliseum now. 16 minutes, 17 seconds left in the third period of play. 4-3 Kalamazoo. The Komets facing extreme pressure from the wings that last couple of minutes deep in their own end. And the Canes will try and clear again. Jim Nesic fires it right back into the Komet zone. Grant Richardson for the Komets behind his own net. And he passes across to Bobby Jay. Now is Jay rushing to center ice. Colin Chin dumps it into the Kalamazoo zone. Larry Dick flags it down with the big stick. And Mitchell pulled off the plate from behind by McRae. Now the Komets trying to put some pressure on. Berger at the point. Richardson turns and fires. Oh, it's tipped in, and it's Larry Dick again alert with the big glove. And now McRae having a little conversation with Roy Mitchell. And that's probably all they're going to do at this point in the game is talk. They can't afford any bad penalties. Trailing by a goal with 15:48 to go in period number 3.
Good play by Grant Richardson there on that turnaround slap shot. Under a little bit of pressure, a little bit of duress. He got it on net. A good play for a young defenseman.
Looks like Al Sims is mixing things up a bit here now in the latter stages of the game. Boudreau will center Hankinson and Kelly Hurd. He's got Bobby Jay at the point along with Grant Richardson. For Kalamazoo, it's Gaddis. And he's out with Kip Miller and Mitch Messier. The defensemen, Paul Gerard and Brad Berry. It's been a tight series, and as expected in Game 7, a tight game. Gaddis and Boudreau looking for the draw. And Gaddis draws it back into his corner where Gerard takes the heavy hit from Hankinson, but clears it ahead to Berry. Now Berry to center ice, but Hurd grabs it, dumps it back in. Here's Boudreau. Boudreau by himself, cuts to the slot. Boudreau's quick shot. Oh. What a save by Dick. Doesn't know where the rebound is, and Kalamazoo clears the puck. This will be an icing on K-Wings, but Boudreau can't believe it. Icing on Kalamazoo, 15:28 left in period 3. 4-3 Wings, and Boudreau is shaking his head. He was looking for the hat trick. And I think that was a little more luck than sense on the part of Larry Dick on that last play.
Yeah, it looked like he was on his way down when he made the save. Play was made by Kelly Hurd outside the blue line, knocking out an errant pass and then throwing it up the wing. Gabby coming in off his off wing, made a nice move to get by Paul Gerard, a quick wrist shot. And Larry Dick, after he blocked it, looked behind him again. You're facing 33, 34 shots like he has, but you have a tendency to say, oh, I stopped it, but where is it, But it was a good save.
Is that the save of the game?
At this point, I would have to think so. Yeah, that thing ties it up 4-4, and we got the Elvis and everybody else going cuckoo in here, so...
My wife recently said coming to a Comet hockey game this days is like being part of a rock video. I think she hit it right on the head.
Elvis is everywhere.
Elvis is in the building.
Let's see his suits have gotten quite a little bit more flashier than the first time we saw him.
Yeah, this guy started out, I think, in a pair of jeans, just turning up his collar. I think I've seen him now in 3 or 4 different wardrobes since he's been here. And I'll tell you, anybody that's come out to these games the last year and a half or so, this place has it all. The Twister, Hammer Jr., we've got the line dancers. I saw the Village People here last year during the playoffs. It's great being out here for Comet hockey. And the Komets are trying to prolong their season tonight, but they've got some work to do. Peter Hankinson, the high hit by Gerard on the play. Kept in by Davidson with the good stick work. Davidson feathers the pass to slide. It's Hankinson right in the slide. Oh, he centers. And Kelly Hurd was ridden off the play. Now Grant Richardson in deep for the K's. Barry and Davidson go along the boards. Now Goddess goes down. And they're on top of the puck. There's a whistle and a face-off again deep in the Kalamazoo zone. And the K's turning up the pressure here in the K-Zoo end with 14:53 to go in regulation.
Well, I was just about to say there's been a lot of time spent on Kalamazoo ice here in the last 4 minutes.
No, it's good that we're, again, putting the pressure on, trying to get that equalizer. It seems we've played from a goal behind almost the entire series. So we are definitely used to it. Let's not get too used to it, though. Just a goal. Gabby's been, having one of the games of his career here tonight, and he's definitely been an uplifting experience for some of the kids, and hopefully we can, go to him as our well supply, if you will.
The 37-year-old veteran now centering Smith and Kosher. Kosher goes along the boards to Straub. Now behind the net. Here comes Kalamazoo. That heavy hit applied by Darren Smith on Sandlin. Komets keep the puck at center ice. Smith pokes it into the corner where Scott Sandlin gives chase for Kalamazoo. Boudreau bumped off the play. Kalamazoo tries to clear along the boards. Jansen taken off on the play by Lucic, who's in deep. Now is Darren Smith giving his man the heavy hit. Kosher steps into Sandlin hard. Here come the wings, though. Along the wing, it's Nesic. His drive. Oh, the big pad by Reddick. Denies Jim Nesic. The K's try to clear, and they do. Now it's Kosher along the boards. Corey Kosher. But behind the play.
Could be a penalty behind the play.
Behind the play, Jansen's in Boudreau. And it looks like it might be the high stick called against Bruce Boudreau. We'll have to see. Well, it'll be Bruce Boudreau going off with a high stick. And Kalamazoo goes on the power play, Scott. You've seen situations like this before, but this definitely is game time. The K's trail by a goal. Just over 14 minutes left in regulation. And now, I guess first things first, they have to take care of another Kalamazoo power play.
Yeah, it's definitely gut check time. The guy's got to come up big on this. It seems time after time on a power play or when we're killing a penalty, we have to come up big. And obviously, this is one of them.
Now Mitchell and Davidson going at it as the Komets try to control the puck, but it's Moylan in his own end. Starts to pass ahead to Goddess. Goddess comes in off the wing. He'll try and slow down and set up the power play. He's taken into the corner heavily by Jay. But Kalamazoo still controls the puck. Pesky Steve Goddess comes out of it in the corner. Now Kalamazoo working the puck. Top of the faceoff circle, the wings. Ross Wilson, who has the hat trick already in this game. Pass goes out to the point. Moylan right in front. There's traffic, and Reddick steers away the shot. Cox couldn't control the rebound, and the K's dodge a bullet there by clearing it back into the Kalamazoo end. Now here come the wings trying to set up. It's Miller across to Mitchell. His long pass dumped into the corner. Reddick controls, leaves it for Lucic. Lucic along the boards. Now Colin Chin. Chin, bad clearing pass by Reynolds. There's a drive right into the chest of Reddick. Now Chin steers it along the boards and clears it away to the rink. And well, you can tell the minute that left Colin Chin stick, he wanted that one back.
I didn't get much on it, did he? He made sure the second time.
Less than a minute to go in the Kalamazoo power play. 13 minutes left in period 3. 4-3 Wings. In the deciding game of this Turner Cup quarterfinal series between the Komets and Kalamazoo, Corey Kosher, who's thrown his body around all night, again takes his man heavily off the play. The Komets dump it back into wing zone. Now it's Roy Mitchell. Ahead to Miller. He lets it go over his stick. This will be an icing on Kalamazoo. Bobby J for the touch. And again, with 28 seconds left in the Kalamazoo power play, the faceoff will be in the wings end.
Another excellent job of penalty killing, and with the faceoff down in the Kalamazoo zone, 28 seconds left. I've got another half a minute here to kill on this time, and then we can go back to work on the offensive opportunities.
Well, first we had Elvis. Now we have the Twister.
Looks like Twister's got some company back there.
I think the Twister has his own company. That man blocks out the sun.
Yeah, if you put a goalie uniform on, you'd never get a goal.
He's his own zip code, I heard. Is that true?
Well, there it is, 99.
I can't say that on TV, can I?
Well, you can't be fun at the old Comet hockey game.
Oh, you gotta love the guy.
But it's going to be a lot more fun if the Canes can come back. They trail by a goal. Kalamazoo still on the power play. They have the puck in the Comet zone. Nessich plays it in the corner. Now Nessich back to the point. Gerard feeds it to the top of the circle. Lenardin now back into the corner. Jim Nessich to Lenardin. Now it's back to Nessich in the corner. Let's see what he does. Nessich tries to feed the pass back to the point to Barry. Barry wraps it back into the corner. Scott Robinson lets it go back to Lenardin. Lenardin setting up shot behind the Comet goal. Here come the wings. Robinson taking off the play. We are back at full strength as Scott Gould points out, and here come the Comet. Kelly Hurd weaves into the zone. His quick shot deflected by Straub. That's into the crowd, and again the faceoff will be in the Kalamazoo end. Just under 12 minutes left in regulation time. The K's down by a goal by the score of 4-3.
Once again, a great job of penalty killing. The guys have done it all year. I can't say it enough. The effort that they're putting out there tonight, you know, I only wish I was down there with them. It's just heart-wrenching just to sit up here. It's so difficult to watch a game when you know your friends and the guys that you played with and, you know, sweat over all year long. It's such a difficult position for them to be in, you know, and I know that they're just, you know, they're just giving their all out there. It's just a joy to see.
Boudreau, Smith, and Berger out against the Goddess line. Now it's Wilson putting the lumber on Scott Shaughnessy, the backhander on goal. Dick Smothers for the face-off. Bill Berger in there strumming around looking for any kind of a rebound. Bill Berger, what an acquisition for the Komets. He joined the team after playing the season with Greensboro, the East Coast Hockey League. Along with Scott White, Bill Berger was the leading scorer in the East Coast Hockey League. Scott White, the leading scoring defenseman in the East Coast Hockey League. Scott White played a game for the Komets on defense, did a respectable job. All Bill Berger's done since he's joined the Komets for the playoffs is score 3 goals and add 3 assists for 6 points in 3 games. And Scott, he's been an offensive spark, and he's a guy who's needed, especially with you up here next to me tonight.
Yeah, I like his style of play. It kind of reminds me a little bit of me. He's not as fast as some of the kids out there, but you know, he comes to play game in and game out, and that's important.
The Komets continue to try to pressure Kalamazoo in their own end. Got us along the boards with Wilson. He's also digging along with Darren Smith. Back to the point. Shaughnessy is looking for Flickel. His quick drive batted away, though, on a good defensive play by Straub. Now it's Berger. Berger to Shaughnessy. Wide up in the drive. Oh, good glove save by Larry Dick. Again, no whistle for the faceoff. They play on. Straub centers it ahead to Ross Wilson. He takes the bump from Shaughnessy. It goes on goal, and Pokey Reddick leaves it for Todd Flickel. Flickel bumped on the play by Cox, but here come the Komets. Berger ahead to Darren Smith. Smith over the red line, tries to dump it in, but intercepted by Roy Mitchell. Mitchell backhands to neutral ice where it's fed back in. Too strong off of Berger's stick, and the Komets have it again. Scott Shaughnessy gives it the flip into the Kalamazoo zone. The K's change defense. Now it's Berger working hard. Bill Berger taken off by Gonis. McRae given the rough ride by Cox. There's a shot. Through traffic, bouncing on goal. Chris McRae fouls it in, but Larry Dick makes another save. We'll be back with more to turn it to playoffs after this.
No, it's on them. Unsportsmanlike conduct. I think so.
What'd you say?
I think it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Moylan through Gabby's stick.
There will be a penalty. Assist to the Kalamazoo Wings. Dave Moylan goes to the penalty box. 2 minutes unsportsmanlike conduct with 10:50 left in regulation. And we'll be back with the Comet power play after this. Cash. Well, one of those penalties that neither team could afford. And things are getting a little chippy here now late in the period. Paul Gerard and Colin Chin exchanging a bit of lumber. Here's the unsportsmanlike penalty call against Dave Moylan and the Kalamazoo Wings that's given the Comet power play.
On the end of this play, you can see in the corner, by the way, Moylan just grabbed Gabby's stick out of his hand and threw it up the ice. The referee's not going to stand for that.
Now the Komets trying to set up the power play, and again, the draw has been ruled unfair. I'll tell you, Scott, and of course as a player, I'm putting you on the limb here, especially with the commissioner sitting a foot from us, so close. But if there's anything tough about the officiating, I don't have that much of a complaint about the refereeing as I do about the linesman play, especially on face-offs. Drop the puck. Now, guys are always going to try to cheat. The centermen always try to get an advantage. But it's a situation where it seems if you can get the guys set as quickly as possible and get them in position, drop the puck, you don't have near the problem with all the jockeying for position and all the other stuff that goes on.
True enough. They're not the game. The linesman and the referee really aren't the game. You know, the best thing about them is at the end of the game, you can say who did the game, then you know they did a good game. Try not to control the game. Let the players decide.
Goddess and Davidson on the draw. Controlled back to the point. Richard pinches along the boards. Looks for the corner. Jean-Marc Richard. Chris McRae digging for the puck with Girard. Out of it now comes Lee Davidson. Davidson grabbed on the play by Girard. Chin races in. Feeds it back to the point. Jean-Marc Richard back now behind the net. Davidson tries to center. Barry. Oh, and it just hops over Richard's stick, and the Komets have to clear the zone and regroup. Goddess gives Jean-Marc Richard the rough ride along the glass. Kalamazoo tries to clear, and they do to center ice. Corey Kocher now playing the point of the power play. Feeds Colin Chin. Chin gets into the zone, dumps it into the corner. McRae is being bodied heavily by Kalamazoo in front of the net. Goes back now to Jean-Marc Richard, who fans on the bouncing puck. And the K's again have to clear the zone and set up once more. Now it's Lee Davidson pumping the puck into the corner. Bobby Reynolds just flips it the length of the rink, and Kalamazoo again has cleared. 1 minute left in the Komet power play. 9 minutes, 48 seconds left in the third period. 4-3 Wings. Kocher hooked off the play by Reynolds, and Nessick fires it in again. Some good forechecking by Kalamazoo here on the Komet power play. The Komets set up again. Bobby J brings it out behind his own net. Starts the rush along the right side. Grant Richardson. His pass is knocked down again by Nessick. Now the K's Peter Hankinson. That is an offside pass, and Komet power play. Scott seems to be sputtering here.
Well, the guys are just a little bit over anxious trying to make that cross-ice pass. What Grant did there was, take the puck behind that, try and set it up. Unfortunately, they're just kind of leaking out of the zone a little bit too early, and it's time, there's still plenty of time to get the puck in the zone, set it up for a good opportunity. So.
9 minutes, 23 seconds left in period 3. 4-3 Kalamazoo. 33 seconds remaining in the Komet power play. The Komets have still dominated this game in shots. 36-17, but Kalamazoo leads in the most important spot. Frankly, the only one that counts. That's the scoreboard. 4-3 K-Wings. Now the fans trying to rev up the Komets as they start this rush. Bobby J steps over the red line, backhands it deep into Kalamazoo's corner. Berger goes in strong, trying to play the puck. Boudreau swoops in. Now it's Colin Chin heading for the corner. Takes the hit from Sandlin, feeds it back to Boudreau. Bruce Boudreau to the point. Jean-Marc Richard, his quick shot. Oh, that goes high off of somebody. Looked like it might have bounced off Bill Berger. Now it's Richard again in the slot. His low shot, flagged down by Larry Dick, who smothers the loose puck. And again, the Komets have no rebounds to try and jump on and flip in for the tying goal. Both teams now at even strength. The Komets lead 4-3. We'll be back with more of the Turner Cup playoffs after this.
In the battle against high food prices.
Face off in the Kalamazoo zone again. The Komets have spent a lot of time in this end of the rink during this third period, but they have not yet been able to score. Now Kalamazoo, Scott Robinson steps over the blue line. Whips around Terry Lusick, tries to cut in the slot. Lusick knocks down the pass, and here come the Komets. Lee Davidson ahead to Peter Hankinson. Hankinson dumps the shot into the Kalamazoo zone. Again, the K's trail by a goal, 4-3. Less than 8.5 minutes to play. Hankinson and Davidson digging in the corner. And Tim Lenard just clears at the length of the rink. It looks like Kalamazoo trying to take time off the clock, and they'll take a few face-offs. Scott Shaughnessy back for the touch. And again, the face-off will go back in the Kalamazoo zone. 37-17, the Komets have outshot the K-Wings, but Larry Dick has stood tall in the goal tonight for Kalamazoo. Pokey Reddick has also played excellent goal for the Komets. He hasn't seen much activity down there. But again, the Komets have put a lot of pressure on here in the period. And you really have to wonder again, Scott, how long it's going to be before they can finally slip one by Larry Dick again.
Well, I think you're going to see a lot of this. Kalamazoo kind of being content to ice the puck when they have to or when they feel pressured. And, we're going to see a lot of face-offs down in this zone. They're trying to hang on right now, and, as they should very well be with a 1-goal lead, 8:10 to go.
There's a good look at Grant Richardson, the fine defenseman who played for the Komets this year after spending last season with Moncton of the American Hockey League. It's like Grant sporting a bit of a mouse under the eye there, where either he caught himself an elbow or somebody's lumbar or something like that.
Courtesy of Warren Reichel, I believe.
He's handed out a few of those in his career.
Certainly has.
Komets control the draw. It goes back into the corner, though. Paul Gerard wraps it around the boards. Wilson played heavily by Darren Smith. Now it's Boudreau. Grant Richardson, his quick shot. Oh, it's blocked by Brad Berry. Good play in the slot. Now the wings break out. It's Steve Gaddis. Gaddis weaving at neutral ice, looking to dump it in. He's taken off the play. And it's Berger. Now it's back behind the Komet zone. Richardson takes the heavy hit from Cox and loses his stick. Now Ross Wilson bodied off the play by Grant Richardson. Here's Boudreau. He takes the hit again from Cox. The Komets start out. Darren Smith back to Bobby J. J with some ice to work with. He skates deep into the Kalamazoo zone. Here's Bobby J. Looks out. Centering pass. Beautiful. Darren Smith had it in his feet and couldn't finish. Now it's Phil Berger. His pass is intercepted by Ross Wilson, and Wilson now just gets over the red line, dumps it deep in the Komet zone, and Kalamazoo looking for a line change. Great opportunity for the Komets. But Darren Smith just a little bit ahead of the play, had the puck in his feet and couldn't finish. Now Colin Chin, strong move, tries to go by Straub. He's bumped to the ice. And Kip Miller tries to play it up. He also goes down. Now it's a race for the puck between Kerry Lusick and Mitch Messier. The touch by Lusick, and icing on Kalamazoo. 6:54 left in regulation play. Kalamazoo still nursing at 4-3 lead over the Komets. Scott, the Komets now facing a situation where there could be less than 7 minutes left in their season. This is a time when it really has to be tough, but I guess you take a look at the heart and character of this hockey club all year. With the accomplishments of this team, 112 points, and the way everybody has stepped forward when they had to, you just have to figure somebody can answer the bell again.
Yeah, let's hope so. It's, like you mentioned, 6:54 left to go. It's very important that anytime we do get the puck in the opposition zone, we've got to get the puck on the net, try and create something, a rebound, deflection, what have you. The defense are obviously going to be pinching at will, trying to keep the puck in as much as possible. It's going to be a wide open last 7 minutes.
Collins in against Steve Gaddis for the draw. Both players go down. Kalamazoo again breaks out. Scott Sandelin fires it off the shin pads of Mark Turner. Jean-Marc Richard tries to play it, and Corey Kosher looked to be hooked off the play. No call, and here come the wings, 3-on-2. Kip Miller leaves it for Mitch Messier. Back to Miller. Oh, that's a little strong in behind him. Turner bumps Miller off the play, and here come the Komets. Colin Chin ahead to Corey Kosher. Kosher just dumps it into the Kalamazoo zone where it's played behind the net by Larry Dick. Sandelin back to his defensive line mate Straub. Lusick tries to keep it in and can't. Now here comes Kip Miller. Miller cutting in on the Komets. Oh, quick shot just goes wide. And the rebound back behind the corner, and the Komets break out, led by Mark Turner. Turner finds Corey Kosher. Kosher cuts to center. He's taken off by a couple of Wings players. And he also dealt Reynolds to fire the clubs. Now he deals with the big elbow. And this is going to be a Komet penalty and a bad one. Kalamazoo delay penalty. Kosher steps heavily into Mitchell on the play, but Corey Kosher will go off the ice, and it looks like it's going to be an elbow on the play.
Of all the things that have been called and not called in the last 5 minutes, I saw one Kalamazoo player hook I believe, Darren Smith down, and the reverse happened, and Smitty pulled somebody else down, and to call that with 5:50 left in the game, I mean, I didn't see it at first. I'm sure it was a penalty in any given situation, but when you talk about officials swallowing their whistle, obviously he hasn't done this in the last 10 minutes of the game.
Well, I got to be honest with you, Scott. It's a tough call at this stage of the game, but when Kosher and Reynolds were standing in front of the Kalamazoo net, at one point, Corey just reached out and just dusted him one with the glove, punched him right in the chops. Reynolds got up and handed him a little bit of the lumber, but then Corey came up and really hung the elbow on him. And I have a feeling after a while the referee let the first one slide, but he's going to get in the second one. That's a big league elbow right there.
Yeah, that's a major league elbow.
And Corey was not very discreet about it. The referee about 10 feet from the play, so you can really see why it was called. That's not a good play by Corey Kocher. They have to control their emotions here, and now the Komets really have to suck it up. First of all, shutting down, if they can, another Kalamazoo power play, and then see what they can do in this last 5.5 minutes of play. Jim Nessich for K-Wings. Dumps it in left for Robinson, but the Komets try to clear Lee Davidson. It's in a few players' feet. The Komets again. Now here comes Grant Richardson breaking out. Richardson leads the rest of the long drive. Whistles just by. Larry Dick looked like he got the shaft of his goal stick on it. That was closer than he thought it would be. Now here come Wings again on their power play. Nessich weaving at center ice. Just feathers the backhander into the Komet zone. Kalamazoo changing. Robinson applies the body to Jean-Marc Richard. Richard looks for the clear. Fires it over Colin Chinn's shoulder, and it goes into the Kalamazoo zone. Now Kalamazoo's Craig Cox bringing it to center ice. The Wings have a minute left in their power play, leading the Komets 4-3 in this deciding game of their Turner Cup quarterfinal playoff series. Oh, now it's Cox with a boneheaded move. He hangs a big elbow on Kerry Lucic. The Komets have the delayed penalty. Hurd through the pads. Oh, he bends. Colin Chinn couldn't put the rebound home. The K's with a glorious opportunity. They just can't quite finish it. But the K's will have an even strength situation when we come back with this Turner Cup playoff game from the Coliseum.
The Fort Wayne Komets are in the midst of their run for the Turner Cup, but season tickets for next season are now available. Get your 92-93 season ticket order in early. Call the Komet office at 483-0011 for more information on 92-93 Komet Hockey season tickets. Komet Hockey, the hottest ticket in town.
Back at the Coliseum for the final 4.5 minutes, perhaps, of the 7th deciding Turner Cup playoff game between the Komets and Kalamazoo. Wings lead the K's right now 4-3. I guess one rather dubious move deserves another, Scott. Corey Kocher went off for the elbow, but just a few seconds ago, Craig Cox hung an elbow on Kerry Lucic. That will even things up, and then once the Komet penalty is over, the K's will have about 1 minute and 18 seconds of power play time. Richardson's drive is blocked by Sandelin. Richardson again. Oh, that goes off the skate and drop right in front. Turner in the goal mouth, but Larry Dick again smothers the loose puck.
What a play by Larry Dick. That puck come off the boards. Very funny, an unusual hop, and he's got to look over his right shoulder and snare it before it turns. He can, whack it home. He got it on, I think the 3rd, 4th, 5th bounce, whatever it may be, but Grant had that first shot blocked. Good presence of mind there to get the puck back on net with the player laying prone on the ice.
Here is the situation. 4 minutes, 22 seconds left in regulation. 32 seconds remain in Corey Kocher's elbowing penalty. 1:51 remains in Craig Cox's elbowing penalty. 4-3 Kalamazoo. Mark Turner on the draw with Steve Goddess. Turner back to Richardson. His quick shot just goes wide. And poked out now by Kalamazoo. It's Messier setting sail into the Komet zone. Messier trying to work by Richardson. He one-hands the pass in the slot. Now Pokey Reddick behind the net for Grant Richardson. Up ahead on the wing to Darren Smith. Smith, pass off the boards, goes to Mark Turner. He's called for offside. And Turner gives Sandelin a little facial massage. He'll have a conversation with Mitch Messier. Emotions raising just a bit here in this last 4 minutes of regulation.
Yeah, they're definitely at peak levels right now. Guys got to control themselves, get themselves under composure here. In 13 seconds, we're going to have a power play for about 1 minute and 19 seconds or so. Obviously, plenty of time to mount an attack, set it up, get the opportunity, get the players on the ice that you need to, and get the quality shots on goal.
Kip Miller set the face off with Colin Chinn. Chinn sneaks a peek at the scoreboard. I'm sure he doesn't like what he sees when he sees 4-3 Kalamazoo. Just 8 seconds left in the Corey Kocher penalty. Then the Komets go on the power play. Now the K's turn it up. Jean-Marc Richard Ahead to Boudreau on the wing. Boudreau trying to work by Girard. Dumps it on net. Larry Dick tries to clear. Plays it off the boards by Colin Chin. Now it's around the corner. Kerry Lusick kicks it back in. And Paul Girard. His backhander goes the length of the rink. The Comet penalty is over. The K's on the power play with 1 minute left of power play time. 3.5 minutes to go in the third period. Kalamazoo dumps it back into the Comet zone. 4-3 Kalamazoo. The deciding game of this quarterfinal playoff series. Boudreau wraps it around the boards deep in the corner. McRae goes into play. Now it's McRae. He gets the rough ride on the play from Moylan. Boudreau trying to dig it out. Bruce Boudreau has 2 goals this game. Now Chris McRae comes out with the puck. To the point, Kosher. His quick wrist shot snared by Larry Dick, and there'll be no rebound.
That's the play. That's the objective. Get the puck back to the shooters back there. Jean-Marc and Corey both can fire the puck. They can both get it on the net. And try to create an opportunity. A rebound, or a deflection, or a screen shot. Just about anything right now.
And we'll be back with more of this Turner Cup playoff game after this.
Hello, I'm Jim Payne. After the game on 33 News, a California death row inmate's fate hangs in the balance tonight, as Robert Alton Harris could get the gas chamber at midnight. It could be the state's first execution in 25 years. We'll have the latest. In Wabash, a snafu over licenses is causing a major traffic headache at the school. And a David Morin's Down to Earth report why recycling motor oil is a good deal for you. This plus sports and outdoor weather after the game on TV 33 or 24-hour local news channel.
3 minutes and 2 seconds could be left in the Comet season. They trail Kalamazoo 4-3 in the final game of this Turner Cup quarterfinal series. They still have 31 seconds of power play time, though. Colin Chin to face it off against Steve Gaddis. And again, the puck is not dropped. Jay Jacobs shakes his head and said, I didn't like what I saw as far as the alignment. Gaddis and Chin again. The draw, Boudreau in the slot. Oh, a shot blocked by Dick, and it rattles off and just drops to the side of the net. Larry Dick again didn't quite see that shot. Just enough with the glove. Kalamazoo clears. Now Reddick plays it ahead to Jean-Marc Richard. He fires it back into the Kalamazoo zone. The hard shot by Barry, though, kept in at the point. Corey Kosher. Now Chin. He's bumped off the play by Nesic. Gaddis comes in. Nesic falls on top of the puck, and there will still be another face-off. 7 seconds left in the Comet power play, and you really have to wonder now, Scott, because Larry Dick is stopping shots he's not really seeing very well.
No, he's not.
42-17.
Made a great play off the face-off, just to walk out and take a quick snapshot. Again, looking to go top shelf. Dick, he had a defenseman in front of him. I think he got a good piece of it, just enough to deflect it into the corner, just behind the net. I'll tell you what, the effort is there. There's no doubt about that. These guys have played their hearts out, both teams.
Still 7 seconds remain in the Comet power play. 2 minutes and 38 seconds left in regulation play. Tim Lennard now set to draw with Lee Davidson. The puck controlled by Kalamazoo. They'll probably kill off the rest of the penalty, and they do by shooting at the length of the rink. Craig Cox returns to the ice. Teams are all even. Less than 2.5 minutes to play now in regulation time. Here's Peter Hankinson weaving by his man. He's got the hook from Robinson, but dumps it deep into Kalamazoo territory. Straub goes hard into the corner. He feathers it ahead, and here come the Wings breaking out. It's Mark Janssens along the wing. The quick shot. Oh, Reddick kicks it out with the big leg pad. Robinson, the heavy body check against Grant Richardson, and here come the Comets. 2 minutes even left in third period play. Bobby J wraps it into the Kalamazoo zone again. Scott Robinson tries to clear. He's pursued by Richard. Robinson looks to clear, and he flips it over Peter Hankinson. Kerry Lusick chases it down in the Comet zone, and the Comets will start the rush once more. Corey Kosher gets over the red line and dumps it deep into Kalamazoo territory once more. Dave Moylan for the Wings. Kelly Hurd intercepts. Now here's Hurd. Back into the corner to Chin. Chin, oh, Richard's shot just goes wide. Now it's Lusick back into the corner looking for Kosher. Shot comes to the side of the net. Larry Dick again puts out the big glove, and he'll smother it for another face-off. 1:24 left in regulation. 4-3 Kalamazoo. Scott, I guess now you have to look at within the next few seconds or so, maybe a timeout by the Comets. They'll have to decide when they want to pull Pokey Reddick.
Well, 1:24 left. I know last time we were down by 2. Of course, in Kalamazoo, we pulled the goaltender with 1:37 left. With the face-off down here, I would think Al's going to call a timeout here, get the chalk part out. I think he might pull Pokey at this opportunity right now. We need as much time as we can. Usually teams like to do it with about a minute left in the period anyway. With the face-off down there, you got your 2-3 best guys on the ice to do it. I wouldn't doubt it if he might call a timeout and do it right here.
The diversion of shots on goal is stupendous.
Yeah, 42-18. It's incredible.
And if the Komets do go on to lose this game, they'll take a look at that number, and that'll be a figure that'll haunt them well into the summer. 42 shots for the Komets, just 18 for Kalamazoo. 4-3 in favor of the Wings. 1:24 left in regulation play. Colin Chin against Steve Goddess on the draw. Bill Berger and Boudreau also out for the Caves. Lenardin and Ross Wilson, who's been the star of the game, with the hat trick for Kalamazoo. Goddess has the lead goal so far for the Wings. On the draw, Chin tries to draw it back. Now Berger. Berger looses, quick shot, hits Dick. High up on the shoulder. Dick is down on the plank.
Oh, my.
In fact, it looked like it might have caught him higher on the shoulder. It might have caught him around that throat area. Larry Dick went down like a sack of potatoes. Brad Berry, the defenseman, also down for Kalamazoo. He pops back up, though. Just 6 seconds came off the clock. Harry Lusick with a quick shot from the top of the circle, and that caught Larry Dick high.
Yeah, Louis just went in there. Phil Berger had the presence of mind to leave Louis. He was coming in, and there's the shot right there, right in the neck. My, I don't know whether Larry Dick has a neck protector guard or what. Some goalies go with it, some don't, but he felt it right away. As you can see, he's going right to the neck, the collarbone area.
Scott, they're applying ice somewhere around his neck.
Well, that obviously, you want to get the swelling down as quick as possible, try and numb the area so that he could continue. It'd be a tough situation if he had to leave the game and they brought in the backup, Rod Houck. That would be very difficult for him. I'm sure Larry Dick, being the professional that he is, no one wants to come out of a game this important.
Well, and there you're looking at what has really been just about the difference in this series. Larry Dick has been sensational in this Turner Cup playoff series. A save percentage of over 91%. That's one of those tough saves. Looks like he's regained his composure, though. That's a bruise, though, he won't mind rubbing all the way back to Kalamazoo if indeed this score holds up. It's been almost a flip-flop situation of what the Komets went through last year when they came into Turner Cup playoff series at first Indianapolis and then Kalamazoo as the heavy underdogs. Kalamazoo comes into this opening round series with the Komets as I couldn't really say a heavy underdog, but perhaps a decided underdog because the Komets did dominate the East Division throughout this season. Kalamazoo, perhaps the team in the East that played the K's toughest game in and game out throughout the season, especially in the latter part of the season. And the fans trying one last time to muster up a rally for the Komets with 1:18 to go here in regulation play. We'll have to look to see when Pokey Reddick vacates his goal for the extra attacker. 4-3 Kalamazoo. Chin and Goddess. Now it's Boudreau chasing Berry. Berry tries to clear. Kalamazoo does clear the zone. Dump back in, but now Phil Berger at center ice. Berger dumps it in deep. Reddick again looking for the signal from the Komet bench. Kalamazoo tries to clear. Komets keep it in. Richard deep in the Kalamazoo corner. 1 minute to go in regulation. Now it's Boudreau on the slide. His shot right on. Smith couldn't quite get the rebound. Kicked out by Larry Dick. Now Boudreau tries to chase it down. Kalamazoo clears. Reddick cannot get out of his goal. Richard takes Lenardin off the play. Now it's Phil Berger.
Great play by Jean-Marc to interfere with Lenardin there. So Phil Berger can come back, touch the puck, get the icing.
And it's an icing play on Kalamazoo. So again, the Komets will have another opportunity. 44 seconds to play in regulation. You have to figure Pokey's going to be heading for the bench right off the faceoff.
I would think so. I think what Al's going to do here is let them set up, get 5 guys out there. Take as much time as possible. Just when they're ready to drop the puck, call the timeout. You'll get that extra minute or so for the guys that he wants out there to catch their breath.
"44 seconds could be all that remains in what has been a tremendous season for the Fort Wayne Komets. The man sitting here just to my left, Scott Drew, a remarkable year. 105 points, 44 goals, 4th overall leading scorer in the International Hockey League this year. But the Komets are just 44 seconds away from seeing it come to an end right now. It looks like Colin Chin has told the referee the Komets will take their 30-second timeout.
The Komets are taking a 30-second timeout.
Well, obviously the key on this is the face-off. Chinner will be in there, I'm sure, either he or Lee, and Lee Davidson, and you want to get the puck back to the point, to the shooters. You want to lock up in front of the net with, big guys, probably Chris McCrae in front, and, try and prevent the players to rushing out the defenseman so they have at least a lane or a clear opportunity to get the puck on the net. Once that happens, players off the wings, Chinner will bust to the net, try and get something on the rebound, maybe again, a screen deflection, whatever. At this point, you just got to get the puck in that. 44 seconds is, still plenty of time for things to happen around the goal. And the ideal situation here, again, getting the puck back to Corey Kosar, the left point, taking maybe 2 strides to center of the ice, taking a shot on goal, and let the chips fall where they may.
The fans are on their feet here at the Coliseum, hoping to see their heroes work just a little more magic in what has truly been an incredible season for the Fort Wayne Komets. 44 seconds left in regulation, 4-3 Kalamazoo. The Komet net is empty. Chin, Boudreau, Kosher, Richard, McCrae, and Kelly Hurd will try and find some way to put the tying goal past Kalamazoo goaltender Larry Dick. Goddess, Barry, Gerard, Ross Wilson, who has the hat trick, and Mark Janssens are the wings on the ice who will try and shut down the Komets for 44 more seconds. Chin draws it back to Kosher. Kosher is backhander, though. Cleared the length of the rink by Barry. We'll see if it can reach the Komet goal. The race is on. Ross Wilson. No icing because Wilson beats Jean-Marc Richard to the puck. The Canes will start a rush. Now here's Boudreau. 28 seconds to play. Boudreau into the Kalamazoo zone. The pass to Hurd just by him. Kelly Hurd couldn't get the stick on it. Now it's Chris McCrae. Chris McCrae in the slot. Kosher in the slot. Fires. That's blocked by a Kalamazoo defender. Kosher again now. Chris McCrae. 15 seconds left in the game. McCrae pins it along the boards. There'll be a whistle and a face-off. Just 11 seconds left in regulation, and the Komets had a tremendous opportunity looking for the tying goal. Corey Kosher all alone about 15 feet in the slot, but he could not get the shot through a maze of players, and that bounced off a Kalamazoo defenseman. Scott, it's looking more and more dubious right now for the Komets.
For once in my life, I feel I'm speechless. I can't put this into words. I just, Corey standing there, and it was a good play by a defender. He went down, blocked the shot, which is what you got to do. You got to pay the price. 11 seconds left. The puck's got to come back to the point. It's got to come. If it can get to Jean-Marc, he's all alone on the left point here from Corey. That would be the ideal situation. He might be, alone or something like that. Otherwise, the puck has just got to go to the net, and guys got to start crashing and banging and see if we can't get a loose puck by Larry Dick here.
I remember a game earlier this year against Salt Lake. Bruce Boudreau scored with 1 second to play in a period. In fact, I believe that was in regulation. Corey Kosher scored with a second to go in the first period of the opening game of this series with Kalamazoo. So it can be done. 11 seconds, believe it or not, can be a world of time when you have a face-off deep in your opponent's zone. And again, Colin Chin for the all-important draw against Tim Lenardin of Kalamazoo. 11 seconds to play. And the teams continue to jockey for position. You see this side right in front of Larry Dick, McCrae, Richard, Hurd. They'll try and all bust right for the goal. As soon as the puck is dropped, hopefully Chin will try and draw it back to Kelly Hurd. Now McCrae goes after the loose puck. Chris McCrae tries to center and can't. Sandelin tries to cover it ahead. The shot in the slot. Oh, it's intercepted by Sandelin. 2 seconds, 1 second. The game is over. The game is over. The Kalamazoo Wings have defeated the Fort Wayne Komets in this deciding Turner Cup quarterfinal game. The final score, 4-3. The winning goal coming just 22 seconds into the third period. Steve Goddess on the assist from Paul Gerard and Craig Cox. The Komets outshot Kalamazoo 44-18, but it's the Kalamazoo Wings who win the game by the final score of 4-3. And here you see the traditional post-game, post-series handshake between the two teams. Great Warriors fighting it out in a 7-game series. And Hilliard Gates and Scott Gruel, what can you say about this playoff?
Well, it was just absolutely fantastic, and the difference in shots on goal, I can't believe. Incidentally, Scott Gruel is a great gentleman and also a great athlete.
Well, thanks very much, Hilliard, and thanks for the opportunity to come up here. It's unfortunate I wasn't on, but what can you say about the game?
Scott Gruel, Hilliard Gates, thank you for the great job. The final score again, 4-3 Kalamazoo. We'll have another wrap-up in our sports. This has been a WKJG Sports presentation.
You've been watching coverage of the International Hockey League Turner Cup quarterfinals, an exclusive live presentation of 33 Sports, the area leader in television sports for 39 years.